The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kencan. Kenny Kencan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Kencan, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is where comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Those one are all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Where?
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Loshak, legendary sports handicap a more dapper than a Dom. By the young phenom known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this shit, they quick to trip. But we say we be pubbing. Better with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Leche.
Yo, what's up on Buzz Sports Radio? Jim, how's my my audio? It's okay?
It's are you using the mic?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's but it's not as glorious as it has been at times.
Oh shit.
Maybe
I'll
I
turn
just
off.
imagine you with this very
Maybe
strong,
I don't know what the fuck.
strong
maybe I'll turn off
voice.
Maybe I'll restart my computer or something like that. I don't know.
I know it sounds fine. It sounds fine. It sounds fine. Maybe it sounds fine, my man.
You sure?
It is great to see you on this Tuesday morning, Pete.
Yeah, because I got real shit to say.
Okay, no, it's working. It's clear. It's clear. We'll let Jose can let us know in the private chat, but it sounds good to me.
All right, that sounds good. You know, it's gosh, here we are, our last show ever before Pride Month, 2025. Looking forward to it. Here we are, Tuesday, May 27th. NHL playoffs. Going to be fun to talk about that game. WNBA. I enjoyed WNBA. Jimmy the Bag. You know, I enjoy pretty much anything where I can get some decent information and get a decent line. And we might have time to talk about those. We're going to talk about MLB, which is it's fun. It's tough. And these fucking books are like extending out the fucking juice on a lot of these lines and props and shit. It's like, damn, they're scared as they should be. Yeah. I was, Jimmy the Bag Guy, on Friday, I started a fast, and I thought I was going to be able to make it to the show and make jokes about it and see how that impacted my my capping and my analysis and everything. But last night I caved, and I couldn't make it. Maybe a different show I'll be able to. I fasted for almost 3 days, Jim.
Wow, I've never fasted in my life.
It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. I'll tell you that. You don't realize what you need is water. You can actually last a long time without food. I bet you didn't know that. I bet a lot of people didn't know that.
No, I think those of us who grew up on mountains, we know that you need water. Yeah. That's all you need, water. And not creek water, because that'll give you the beaver fever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the beaver fever, Pete.
Well, so you learn something every day. All right, well, point is, I think we're going to have a nice show. It's going to be fun, a little bit relaxed. Summer is always a little bit more relaxed, no matter how you slice it. I think it's going to be a good show.
I do, too. I don't know what the hell you're sipping on, but it looks delicious, Peter. Looks delicious. Welcome to Loshak in the bag. Great to see all of you guys. We got Billy Friedrich, Big Milk play today. Cubs team total over 5.5 at plus 130. Plus 130. Look at that record for Billy Friedrich, 22.27 units up. We got Stacks play today. Acuna and the Rangers on the run line. Of course, that's Eovaldi versus Bowden Francis, which we will be discussing here. AOD in the house. What up, AOD? We got Spooner ready to get to work. Joseph Gomez in the house. And Swiggy says the NHL playoff pool is updated. Let's take a quick look. I know we won't spend much time because I'm in control here. And so we don't, but beautiful. They are Big Show in second. Big Show, it's only the only top two get paid, Big Show. It's all ours. It's all ours, Big Show. Dodge 71 in third, Salty Pete in fourth, Garcia Gaming in fifth, Ramon Scott in sixth, and Peter tied with Crystal Craig and Peter and Rusia and Steve G all tied for. Oh, they shouldn't be tied for 7.
Next year, here, Jimmy the Bag, let me ask you this, just for next year, right, Jimmy the Bag?
Sure.
This format that we have, if you knew before the format who the two teams were that were going to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, would you just pick only players from those two teams? Or not?
Yes.
You would. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. The reason why I was I didn't do that was because the only two teams I knew that I wanted were the Stars and the Oilers. So that's why I kind of spread things out. I don't have a single Florida Panther. I wasn't sure who was going to come out of the Lightning Panthers first round series. So yes, if you know who is going to, just 10 and 10 and you will win. And that was the winner of last year. Last year's winner had 10 Panthers and 10 Oilers and was way behind and slowly came back. So thank you.
Right now, is my audio better or worse than before?
It's better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful now. AOD in the house, thank you. And Swiggy, thank you. My friend, Wine Time Sports, ready to get to work. What a great group. Spooner with his action in. I've copied and pasted Dodgers, Tigers, the first 5 under 4.5 in Texas, Toronto, and Marlins first 5 plus a half. We got Aubrey ready to go. Robert Franklin in the house. Just my 2 cents. TC, our big locker room talk podcast will be live and up front tonight. You will sit the show pops off 8 p.m. It's probably pre-recorded. I'm not sure if they did live last week, but it's going to be a locker room talk podcast will be out here. We got Viper, Justin McKelvey, saturated, says Pete is turning into Jerry Garcia. Interesting note, Jerry's daughter, Wendy, was best friends with my mom.
No shit.
Yeah, growing up, Wendy Garcia, when I don't want to get, but don't need to get into the toughest part of my mom's life.
I know he meant that as an insult. I take it as a compliment.
No, yeah, it's a huge compliment, man. I don't think he meant it. I don't think he meant his insult at all.
I mean, that's dope.
Oh, it's dope.
That's dope.
Oh,
that is dope right there.
God, if that could just never end. If that could never end. Got to get you on my.
Jerry Garcia.
Do people still have answering machines? Because that would be perfect. That would be just heaven on earth. Robert Cherry ready to get to work. Eldorado custodian Jason Meyer ready to get to work. Saturated says Jose's entry. How's Jose's entry? I imagine he's talking about the hockey pool. If he is, poor. They're going for all defensemen. Will never be done again. Will never be done again. We got Big O says teachers can look at their schools out. Teachers can focus more on gambling. We do have a bunch of teachers that rock with us. Big O, great to have you in summertime. Dougie Wise says Creek water is delightful. Okay, it's time to get to work. Ronnie Lofton, Big Daddy Boom, Dougie Wise, Robert McCormick, everybody ready to rock. Thank you guys so much for joining. Mally Mal, OG Lowbagger in the house. Let's get to work.
And you can get some of those teachers to open accounts for you.
I was not aware.
Not that I would do that.
Now, remember when we were in Costa Rica, they wouldn't allow accounts to open with a woman's name. Do you remember
that? Is that true?
Really? Yeah, right when I first down there, none of the books would allow because of the chargebacks.
That is off the charts.
Yes,
sexist.
It was nothing to do with sexism. Nothing to do with sexism. What was happening was a girl's name would open an account. It would be done by the boyfriend or the husband or something. If that account lost, the girlfriend or wife would say, "I don't know who these people are."
God.
And so it's chargebacks. So they wouldn't allow any female name to open an account.
Women can cap just as well as men and have a baby while doing it.
You're absolutely right. Okay, wine time here. Wine time with action. Let's get wine time's action here. And nice NYCE in the house. Let me just paste this here. Nice saying on the Knicks heavy. OKC frustrated me very, very much last night. Yes, it sucked. I only had 2 bets last night. Peter, the Carolina Hurricanes money line, which obviously got me very, very confident. And then the Thunder -3, which hurt. Toby Lane, Sparks money line, Pacers money line. I can't wait to talk about all this. I can't wait to talk about NBA. I can't wait to talk about WNBA. I just can't wait to talk about MLB, NHL. I'm pumped up. I've been capping this card for, it feels like a day and a half because it has been. Let's get to work here. Here we go. We start with the West Final, Pete. Game 4. Edmonton leading the series 2-1. Why don't you set this one up for us?
Well, I a lot of the games I look at, and based on listening to you and other people, I feel like I have a good read on what to do before we talk about it. This one, not really. Edmonton, obviously awesome. Dallas, obviously struggling. They have some serious issues, injury issues. Their star players are not showing up. Even Ottinger is not really playing that well. Just all kinds of issues for Dallas. And the question is, can they get it together and bounce back here or not? They are definitely in a desperate spot and definitely feeling desperation. But, desperation, a lot of times you want to have, at least a middle of the range opponent to bounce back against. And that is not Edmonton. Edmonton's awesome. Even when their stars are off a little bit, they now have more depth than they used to. So I don't know. I guess I was thinking no-brainer bet on Edmonton again. But I want to hear what you had to say before I did that.
You know what is the true desperation in this hockey game? Is that the best player in the sport of ice hockey has not won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
That's the desperation. And if you listen to Pete DeBoer now, and I love that he's softened up, but he sounds like a parent on the kid who loses, saying, we weren't playing without our number one line center, and we worked hard out there. Look, the ice is tilted. I've been trying not to get too involved in this series, and I haven't yet. But this is the single biggest reason why I was on the Hurricanes last night, and I have bet the Oilers -1.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. It's because here I had it all set up for you. It's in the middle of all my notes. Here we go. This is it. The single reason is the Dallas Stars have had better 5-on-5 shot attempts and shot attempt percentage compared to Edmonton this series. That's the same thing with Carolina, Florida. The Dallas Stars have won the battle of offensive zone time percentage in both games 2 and games 3. Same with Carolina. However, and this is it. And AM says Stars significantly outplayed the Oilers last game and lost. I wouldn't touch Stars last night. AM's right. But listen to this. With all of that, the Stars have 19 high danger shots on goal through 3 games. 8 less than the Edmonton Oilers. That's the biggest difference. The Stars can kind of control the player, whatever. When there's an odd man rush or there's a break and Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, and others, but mainly those two, are on the ice, you're in big trouble. This line is going back to Dallas. Great. If the Sharps want to feel sharp, here you go. The line opened up with Edmonton -156. I got in at a bad number. I got in -160 and +155 on the -1. It's now -149. This line's moving towards Dallas. This total here is a 6. I know that overs have been hitting, a lot. I still not interested in one here. It's gone from 6.5 to 6. If you are cashing on the over every game, feel free to hammer it. Take it to the bank. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I really think the Stars are going to play extremely tight defensively, especially without Rupi Hintz. And Rupi Hintz is a game time decision. He may go, but I do think it's going to be a very tight hockey game. Now, we've seen third period explosions in games 1 and games 3. So if you're on that, feel free to keep hammering it. AM is on the under 6.5. Look, I agree, AM, but I'm going to keep things clean with just the Oilers -1. If there was still a 6.5 available, AM, I might, or I could move, on the Stars team total under, which I'm just going to keep it clean again here. So let's talk some more stats here. Ottinger now has the exact same numbers as Stuart Skinner in the playoffs. Isn't it incredible? What a little hot streak or a little cold streak can do with a smaller sample size? Unbelievable. Skinner's save percentage now over 900. The Stars power play 31.9%, been strong all season, and penalty killing 83.3. It's come back a little bit. Oilers power play 25.7%, penalty killing 65.9%. There's our guy Joey DFS, one of the Stars of Locker Room Talk podcast that pops off this evening for the big UFC week ahead. So the Edmonton Oilers are 21-3 all time when leading a best-of-7 series 2-1. There'd be spots, and there will be spots in the future where I'd be a little nervous about backing a team, in up 2-1, game 4 at home. But again, I keep going back to these guys have never won. I mean, look at Hyman. What's he, 33? I think he's 33.
Yeah.
He has never won. He's never been the best player on his team. He's never done much of anything. Not much of anything. So he has 10 hits in the last game. 2 goals in the 10 hits. He was a +5. He leads the NHL with 109 hits in 14 games. And when I think of the toughest guys on the Oilers, he doesn't come to mind. This is a tough veteran hockey team. He has 31 more hits than the second highest on that list, Sam Bennett. 31 more hits. He's going to break the single playoff season record set by Blake Coleman, Tampa Bay Lightning in 2020. McDavid, 2 goals. He has 15 points now. He had scored just once in the previous 10 games. He did have 12 assists. So he had scored 3 times on 51 postseason shots. That was a 5.9 shooting percentage for the best player in the world. During the regular season, he was 13.3. He saw the goal. I think he's going to score tonight. I might do some rec action with that I'll just, won't tweet out or anything like that. Robert Cherry says, I got the Oilers, but on the fence with the over-under. I get it. Robert Cherry. I get it, Robert. He's still leading the postseason in points. Bouchard had a goal and assist. Nuge looks great. Nugent Hopkins and Kane each had 3 assists. Stuart Skinner, the difference. Since returning during Game 3 of the second round against the Golden Knights, 4-2, the 1.64 goals against average, 936 save percentage, 3 shutouts. The Oilers have scored at least 3 goals in 12 of their 14 postseason games and rank second in the league among teams who have advanced past the first round. They have 3.93 goals per game. Florida Panthers 4.07. Jason Robertson scored. Ottinger made 18 saves. If I didn't have futures on the Oilers, I would not only be on them on the money line, but I'd be on them with the team total over 3. I'd build it. It's expensive, and I would have that on every game. I don't need to double down in these spots. The team total is always a double down for me. A rupee hint not out there is a big deal. AM talking about the expected goals for. Dallas outshot Edmonton 21-7 in the second period, 36-18 in shot attempts. And McDavid has an opportunity at the end of the second period, and he just puts that dagger right through the larynx of the Dallas Stars. At one point, the Stars had a 19-5 advantage in scoring chances, and to back up AM's numbers, a 10-1 advantage in high-danger scoring chances. That went away quickly. Dallas 0 for 4 on the power play in games 2 and 3 combined. Edmonton's gone 2 of 8 over that time. We went over the stats for why Dallas, why I don't fear them, and it is the high-danger scoring opportunities over the totality of games through the series. Toby Lane says, intangible is Skinner versus Ottinger. Skinner can shit the bed, and Ottinger can steal a game time. Absolutely. That's very, very valid. Very, very valid. Here is a problem, a huge problem. Wyatt Johnston is in his head. So is Duchesne, for that matter. Wyatt Johnston is a -17. I know plus minus is sort of an archaic way of judging a hockey player. He was -9 in 7 games against the Avalanche, -4 in 6 games against the Jets. He's -4 in 3 games against the Oilers. Now, Dallas has allowed 5 empty net goals. That's the most in the playoff. Johnson's been on the ice for each one, so there's 5 there. They've allowed 2 shorthanded goals. Johnson's been on the ice for both of those, so you could take 7 off. But he's a -8 at 5-on-5. 44.2% of the shot attempts Dallas gets when he's on the ice. That's 17th on the Stars. Maybe he's just not ready for this. Dallas has been scored 31-23, 5-on-5 as a team. Only 3 players are positive in their plus-minus. Bichelle, the defenseman, Rupee Hintz, who's not playing or may play at 70 or 80%, and Sammy Steele, they're +1. Matt Duchesne is a -13. So Johnston and Duchesne are both double digits in the minus. And Connor Brown left the game after a hard hit from Petrovic. And he's a real quality player, a depth player, but very quality. It would hurt them. And then Ekholm coming back is probably not the best case scenario, but you want him to play 13 or 14 minutes, maybe dress 7 defensemen and don't use Connor Brown and give Ekholm some time, not in high leverage situations. But look, Andrew G says too many Dallas Stars on the milk cartons. Again, I don't care what the market does. I'm watching these games, and the Stars are scared. And the Oilers know that they have to win. If they lose this game, they may not make the Stanley Cup final, may not be able to get their revenge against the Florida Panthers, which I'm very confident they will get. But they have to win here. They have to win here. Have to. It's the most important game of the year by far. McDavid and Draisaitl know they have to go to Dallas up 3-1. Have to. So there we go. AM says the biggest difference in this game was scoring chances, save percentage. Stars 82, Oilers 97. I expect Ottinger to bounce back. Game is tight and low scoring tonight. I think that the Stars are a little uncomfortable. Edmonton Oilers on the -1 line for me, Pete, and they go down a goal in the immediate live bet on the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, that's where I was leaning. I will make it official. Edmonton -1 plus 104 official play. I'm going to bet it. Just wanted to make sure that there wasn't something I was missing there.
No, because look, I was on Carolina. We study these stats very closely, and I think there's a difference, and it's the high danger scoring chances. So Peter and I both on the Edmonton Oilers. Good luck to all of you guys who are going to be capping, gambling, and watching the National Hockey League. Go out there, get that cash, and I have already bet, for those of you who are wondering, I have already bet the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 5. As soon as the line was available, I bet it. And so, simple for me. Oilers tonight, Hurricanes tomorrow. If it goes to Game 6 in Florida, I probably let go. And I don't know if I flip over the Florida side, but I probably won't be on the Canes. Billy Friedrich says he'll be on the Panthers for Game 5. That's a season ticket holder. I get it, but good God. Just last thing on that game. Sammy Reinhart, you see that power play without Sammy Reinhart? It's a shell of itself. And Mikola, I compared him to Victor Hedman. I honestly, in this series, believe he's been better than Seth Jones, clearly. He's been the best defenseman on the Florida Panthers. So you take their best power play forward, and whom I believe is their best defenseman in the last while of playoffs. And now I would take the Carolina Hurricanes at home. So I bet them. There you go. No, Kong, I don't think Carolina can win the series. It's a thing like, remember when the Oilers were down 2-0? Oh, I mean, sure, it's possible. Sorry, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, it's in the realm of, it's not like a, I don't think it's a 5% chance. I mean, probably lower than that. But remember when the Oilers were down 2-0 and Knobloch was like, we've been through much more difficult situations than this. This isn't, my group can handle this. The Panthers can handle a team coming back from a 3-0 lead. They just did against the Oilers last year in the Stanley Cup final. So they're not going to panic. But without Reinhart and Mikola, the series becomes much more even. Much more even. Big Scott cashed in Canes money line and -1.5 last night. Says everybody at the sport book looked at me like I was crazy. I got that when I put it out because I wasn't there yet when we did Medicate Monday. It took me a while to yes, we have to bet this. I was sitting on my stoop. Kids are biking, and I'm like, I have to bet this. I cannot sit on the sidelines. I have to bet this. And I got some similar messages too. Love that you got that cash, Big Scott. Billy Friedrich says there are way too many tickets still available for tomorrow night's game. Home ice is gone. Franchise has outpriced their fan base. Kong says, how long is Reinhart out? Unfortunately, Kong, I think Reinhart is out for the rest of the playoffs, but they won't tell us that. And I hope that's not the case. I'm a big fan of the whole Reinhart family. But that's the National Hockey League for Tuesday, May 27th. Pete, we got to fire away. And great job, Big Scott. Love seeing you get that cash. Love seeing you pick up the puck line, too. I love seeing it. But let's move on to Major League Baseball. Peter, are you ready to rock, my friend?
Yes.
All right, let's roll. We have game. Thank you guys for hanging through the NHL. I know not all of you guys love the sport as much as some of us. And I was sent a package from Billy Friedrich, a great package last year. I have the Hurricane playoff towels, and I will be pulling them out for tomorrow's breakdown. I will have the Hurricane playoff towels ready to go. Oh, thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate. All right, Irish King, let's get it. Big Scott says, I'll be on the Stars money line, maybe run it back with the reverse puck line. Good luck. Oh, yeah, Billy Friedrich, I got him right there. They're going to be all over the table for tomorrow's breakdown. And again, that is the difference. The Hurricanes were still getting more high danger opportunities than the Panthers, but not the Stars. So the Stars are carrying the play, but not getting high danger chances against Michael Jordan in the spring of 1990. Come on. Let's roll, Pete. LA Dodgers 33-21, 14-13 on the road. At the Cleveland Guardians 29-24, 14-9 at home. We're at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Oops, let me turn this off. I apologize for that. Let's roll. We have first off Swish Analytics. I did refresh it just recently. 68 Fahrenheit. Feels like 62. 10.7 miles per hour out to left field. It dies down to 9.8 miles per hour. Spooner sent me the Ballpark Pal Daily Stadium Report. And for Progressive Field here, where is it here? Progressive Field, we have minus 9% homers, even doubles and triples, minus 1% singles. So it's not too big of a deal. Dustin May going up against Tanner Bybee. Let's get the line history up for this one. Over here, sorry, quickly over to MLB. And let's roll. We have the Guardians at plus 114. They opened up at plus 119. So a very small move towards the Guardians. From a total standpoint, we have a 9, minus 108 to the over. This opened up at 8.5 and climbed immediately. And now we have a 9. According to Wager Talk for this one, sorry, let me get over here. We have, for this interleague series, we have 59% of the tickets on the Guardians, but 51% of the cash on the Dodgers. 60% of the tickets on the under and 66% of the cash on the under. And yet this has gone up a half run. And love seeing our guy Big Scott sharing the wealth and blessing our action. Benjamin Mill says my research made this line minus 110. Minus 110. AM is on the over 8.5. And Troy Torrance says, unless this line starts moving towards the Dodgers, this is Guardians and or the over. Dustin May, 2-4, 4.09 ERA, 1.24 whip, 49 strikeouts and 15 1/3, 18 walks, 6 home runs allowed. Last start, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, allowed a solo shot with 8 Ks and 1 walk, and a very impressive 3-1 victory at home over the Diamondbacks, who've been hitting the ball hard. On the road this year, he's struggled compared to his numbers at home. He's thrown 23 1/3 innings over 4 starts, 25 hits. He's allowed 14 earned runs, and his K to walk ratio is quite poor. 17 strikeouts and 9 walks. At home, to give you an example, he's 32 strikeouts and 9 walks. He's allowed 4 homers on the road, and opponents are hitting 266 against him. And it's righties who eat him up. 277, 808 OPS. Now, we've done this often, talked about the righties for the Guardians and how they don't put fear into anybody. You could say the entire lineup doesn't put fear into anybody. The righties that would need to be worried about, Jose Ramirez will hit from the right side, Lane Thomas, Santana, the switchy hits from the right side, and Arias. It's probably a good lineup for Dustin May to attack. But again, we've seen this line go from 8.5 to 9, so I'm not looking to get in an under. Tanner Bybee coming off a beautiful start at the Tigers, 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 Ks, 1 walk, didn't allow a run, 3.57 ERA, 1.21 whip on the season. At home, he's been lights out. 24 2/3, he's allowed 4 earned runs. 2 home runs allowed over the 24 2/3 with a 207 opponent's batting average. Splits are fine. Lefties 221, 736. Righties 256, 762. Benjamin Mills says 9.5s are popping up. Wow. Dodgers versus righties, they smash them. 286, 847 OPS. Guardians versus righties, 228, 688. And the Dodgers have a bullpen advantage too. So the question here is, where are the biggest advantages? Do you think it's Dodgers against righties compared to the Guardians against righties? Or do you think it's Tanner Bybee in the first 5 innings against Dustin May? And that's where you will find your bet. Peter Loshak, Dodgers Guardians.
Well, I do think that it's not a good strikeout spot for Bybee, and I took his under 5.5 strikeouts at the big favorite line. Now it's down to 4.5, and my stats say lean May over 4.5 hits, but I didn't pull the trigger on that for all the reasons that you mentioned. My numbers said lean Cleveland, lean over, and obviously the over was correct. Yeah, that was when it was 124 and 8.5. It's still leaning Cleveland, still leaning. I don't know about over now. I'll have to run the numbers again, and I took Bybee under 5.5 Ks. Now it's down to 4.5. Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's interesting. I would prefer to be on the Guardians early, but the line on the first 5 has slightly moved towards the Dodgers. The line on the full game has moved slightly towards the Guardians. Troy Torn says, I really wanted to bet the first 500, but no chance that happens with this profile. It was the same thing that I wanted. I looked at this yesterday afternoon. I was like, I knew I had a bias watching Dustin May's last start, and Bibby's been rolling. I still feel like there's an advantage with the Guardians' first 5, but line's not moving there. This is a very fishy low line for the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are only 1 game over 500 on the road. Should they even be a favorite here, Pete? We heard Benjamin Mills put this line out at -110. So, we'll move on, but I'm going to be on the Guardians in some form, Pete. I don't know if that's a first 5. I don't know if that's a full game. I don't know exactly how. I'm with Big Scott on this look on the Tribe. For those of you who got in on the over early, I think the market's telling you you're in great shape. Jerry Davis says Dodgers for me. Cleveland just isn't hitting. Now, is Dustin May going to carry that home swagger to Progressive Field? Dougie White says if you saw them swing the bats yesterday, yes, Jimmy, they should be favored. So what is Dustin May with the hits juice to the over? You think that he gets touched a little bit here?
Not touched a little bit, but that's a very low total, 4.5, and I am expecting him to have a reasonably have a normal duration of his start.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on to game 2 here. I'm very interested in the Guardians here, but I'm going to have to sit with it a little longer. Let's move on. Next up for us, 6:35 p.m. Eastern, the St. Louis Cardinals 30-24, 11-16 on the road to the Baltimore Orioles, 19-34, 9-15 at home. Let's go to Camden. Shout out to Von Polo, all of our cappers from Baltimore area. 72 Fahrenheit, feels like 67, 7.2 miles per hour to left field. Dies down at 4.5 miles per hour. So let's see what they're giving for Oriole Park. Plus 1% overall. Plus 1% overall. Minus 6% home runs. Minus 1% doubles and triples. And it is plus 7% singles. We have Andre Palante, 4-3, 4.18 ERA, 1.34 whip. Just 35 Ks in 56 innings. 35 Ks, 20 walks. Not the K-walk ratio that you're looking for. We saw it in that last loss, 5-1 loss at home versus the Tigers. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. Just not good enough. Lefties hitting 232 with a 701 OPS. Righties a lot harder, 279, 796, but you expect that. I know. He's always had that issue. Tomoyuki Sugano on the other side. His numbers are really good. I've not had success backing him. I don't want that to get in the way of action here. Last start, 6 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs and an 8-4 extra inning victory at the Brewers. 3.07 ERA, 1.02 whip. I mean, he's been very good even if he can't get strikeouts when you need him to. Splits are great. No problem areas. At home, he's allowed 7 earned runs in 29 innings. 6 home runs, though. 6 home runs he's allowed at home. Cards hitting 266, 750 versus righties. Orioles versus righties, 254, 719. And the Cards bullpen is 4.5 runs better over 9 innings than the Orioles trash heap of a bullpen. Orioles bullpen 7.42 ERA, 1.64 whip. Cards bullpen 2.81 ERA, 1.16 whip. Peter, line history here. We have the Baltimore Orioles at plus 104. They opened up at minus 103. We've had a very short move towards the St. Louis Cardinals. And then on the total, we have a 9 minus 112 to the under. This opened up minus 110 to the under. We've had a 2-cent move towards the under. And according to, we have people talking about rain in the forecast here. I have very light, very, very light rain, overcast, non-issue. Let's see what RotoWire has. RotoWire is the same. I don't think, who knows, but I don't think it's an issue. 7.2 miles per hour to left, and dies down to 4.5, as I said earlier. And then with the cash flow, we have, let me get to Baltimore, St. Louis, interleague action. We have 64% of the tickets on St. Louis and 83% of the cash. Not much money's going over there. The line's not moving too quickly over there. And back to the total for this one, we have a 2-cent move to the under. A 2-cent move to the under, we have 54% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the over. Peter Loshak, take it away. Game 2 on our card. Cardinals, Orioles.
Well, I hit some props that did move. I hit Sugano under 6.5 hits at a big favorite line, but now it's down to 5.5. And the outs props are now I'm seeing them taken off of some places. So that's probably because of the rain. I'm reading that there's some more concerning weather than you might be seeing at some sites. I'm seeing that it's likely to be raining throughout the game, and so it's not clear what's going to happen. Also, stats like in a Palante over 3.5 strikeouts at a big favorite line. I did bet that one, but that's just I hit Sugano under 6.5 hits, but that's 5.5 now. And I do kind of still like Palante over 3.5 strikeouts, but with the rain and everything, I think I'll just hold off.
There's a lot of money on the Cards and market.
And also leaning under if it goes full, but
the first 5, right now where we used to play poker minus 118 on the first 5. I understand why you have a feel for the under. Are you going to have to let go of your concern about the Orioles bullpen if you pull the trigger on it?
Yeah, it's concerning. Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, Palante's not looked very good right now. The Orioles have a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
Sugano has been a very trustworthy pitcher for them. I kind of like him. But I would kind of move towards Orioles' first 5 to attack Palante. I'd like to just before we move on here, I'd like to touch on Palante's other road starts, and then we'll move on because I do find the Orioles very appealing. So let's just grab this very quickly, and then we'll move on to Giants, Tigers, Logan Webb trying to bounce back from that horrific start. So Palante's road starts here. Let's just go over them one by one here very quickly. We have first road start of the year, couldn't make it through 5 against the Red Sox. Then against the Mets, not a quality start. Against the Braves, not a quality start. First quality start of the year on the road was his 4th start on the road against the Reds. Low scoring game there. Then at Washington, so he's had back-to-back very strong starts on the road. But this is a tougher offense. Well, not Kansas City's rolling offensively. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, I'm interested in the Orioles. My fear of that bullpen is real. And then, AM being so bullish on the over is messing with me a bit. But I guess the first 5 under is somewhat appealing, but I don't bet those, so it'd have to be a first 3 under. I think this actually does sort of fit the profile for a first 3 under because, I guess is the weather. The weather's not helping, but you have, pedestrian numbers from the pitchers, a ton of money on the over, yet the market's not moving. A lot of cappers backing the Orioles, and I'm interested too. So I'm going to look a little further. Jerry Davis, I would be most comfortable with the first 5 on the Orioles. I still... Spooner says Baltimore's bullpen so taxed for me to want to back them here. And Timmy Tushu says Palante, the stinker at home versus Detroit, he should make adjustments against those Baltimore bums. And Benjamin Mills on the Orioles first 5 and the team total over. Melly Mouse said I've been trying them first 3 unders. Brewers cooked me in the first inning last time. Samit says, do you think Sugano gets touched up? I've not had good success with him, but I would say no. I don't think he gets touched up too much. Do you think?
I'm reading there's light rain throughout the game, which they might play through or they might call it. So that just makes me, you never know exactly. I haven't done my research deep enough into either of these guys to see exactly how that kind of weather would affect them, but it's not good usually. So
I hear that. Well, let's bring on our producer here on Loshak and the Bag, the star of Say Hey Plays, and see if he's moving on either of these first 2 baseball games that we have just capped from the home studio of Pub Sports Radio at the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas, the best bar in Texas. I miss it very much. Please welcome Jose Bouquet to the show. Mr. Bouquet, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Excited to talk ball,
Did you move on Dodgers Guardians first?
No, I haven't moved on. Jesus, there's a little. You'll mute my computer. No, I only have one bet in so far, and it is in our next game. But yeah, I haven't moved on anything yet.
Mally Mal, I haven't updated it, but I was up double-digit units, and I'm still, but low. It's the only reason why I'm in the black on the season. But the average line is expensive. So you know what? I'll have it updated for you guys tomorrow. At the worst, I'm up 9 units on it. It's kept me strong. And shout out to Mr. Ski Profit in the house. The first ever and the only ever winner of a Loshak in the Bag trivia contest.
I congratulate him, Ski. That's and winner of the poker tournament as well at Pubapalooza. That does not happen often.
Did he win that?
Yeah, I believe Ski won the very first one. He split with somebody, and then Ski gave me the giant LeBron James bong, which I promptly sold because I would never smoke out of a LeBron James bong.
Oh, come on. He knocked me out of a fun one of our pub poker tournaments online. He's a good poker player. He's a great gambler, man.
Yeah,
shout out to Ski Profit. Thank you for joining us, Ski. Let's roll on here. So nothing for you in the Cardinals Orioles action.
No, I was admittedly a little interested in the Cardinals, the line just flipping in a direction, but not really. So I just stayed off.
Let's roll on. Troy says, wait, Ski splits, he wins, I split, and I don't win. That is funny, but that is true. Sorry you have to deal with that, Troy. San Francisco Giants, Detroit Tigers. We go to Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Giants, very good at home, just 500 on the road. Tigers, 19-8 at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Ballpark Pal gives it -9%, -22% homers, even on doubles and triples, +4% singles. Let's take a look at the swish weather here. 70 Fahrenheit, feels like 62, 12.5 miles per hour left to right and in slightly. It dies down to 10.7. I like Logan Webb for the bounce back. Justin McKelvey is the Tigers +102 in his pocket. But the market wasn't really working with me here. That last start was wild. 5-4 Webb is 2.67 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. When he came into that last start, he'd only allowed two earned runs in 28 innings plus at home, and then he gets touched up for 6 runs, 3 of which were earned in 4, and he's allowed 10 hits. He was just getting hit immediately. On the road, he's had it tough for time. 34 hits allowed in 35 innings over 6 starts, 15 earned runs. He's only allowed 2 jacks on the road and 256 opponents batting average. Lefties hitting 265, 678. Righties 247, 607. Benjamin Mills says Logan Webb in a pitcher's park. Sign me up. It's an interesting way of looking at it. Just by 2 cents, Jack is sketch. Mr. Flaherty, 2-6, 4.39 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 64 strikeouts in 53 and a third. Last start, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 3 walks, and 7-0 loss at home versus the Guardians. And at home, he's been pretty strong. The problem is that when he does get hit, it's the barrel. He's allowed just 18 hits in 26 2/3, but 11 earned runs, 6 home runs. Opponents are only hitting 182 against him at home. Lefties 213, 775 overall. Righties 236, 692. Neither team's hitting righties that hard. Giants never do. 233, 688 over. All these stats for bullpen and righties lefties last 30 days. 233, 688 OPS. Tigers 248, 732. And both bullpens have been strong. Giants bullpen over the last 30 days is the best in Major League Baseball. 2.74 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Tigers bullpen has taken a step back. 3.89 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. When we get to the line history here, sorry, I'm on first 5. Let me quickly move back to full game. I have the Detroit Tigers at +102. They open up +106. The Giants have gone from -117 to -110. When I get to the total here, we have a 7.5 -120 to the under. I was very curious as to what was going to happen to this total. I was, watching it last night, not move. Saw it this morning, not moving. And now we've had a real legit move to the 7 to the over. Let's say it's not a real 7.5. Although, is there any real 7.5s anywhere? They're all No, it's not a real 7.5. But a big move on the 7. We can call it that. And then cash flow wise, we have 86% of tickets and 90% of cash on the Giants. It's crazy. 75% of tickets on the under, but 83% cash on the over. Again, wild, and the line moving very drastically towards Detroit. And the coin saying this feels like a Detroit spot. Mr. Bouquet, Giants, Tigers.
Predictably, I'm on Detroit. Yeah. Logan Webb on the road. I feel like I have the better team in the Tigers. Again, I don't bet many Giants games. I don't think I've won a Giants game this year, fading or betting them. I think I've bet against them. I've bet against them once, bet on them once, lost both so far. So this will be another attempt. But yeah, Tigers for me. I will be a little worried because earlier, like 20 minutes ago, there was like 94% of the tickets, 92% of the bets, or the money, I should say, on the Giants. Now it's 86 and 94 for the Giants. I'm a little worried that these are like early, sharp, good bets. And then as the show or the day goes on, you'll see more Tigers people coming in. And, maybe I'll be a little worried on that aspect, but it's still Tigers for me. I'm going to fade Logan Webb on the road.
I get it. Timmy Tushu saying that Logan Webb has had some crappy outings lately. I
lean over in this game too, by the way. 7, I think Logan Webb is going to struggle, and I don't think Jack Flaherty is all that great. There's 75% of the bets on the under, 83% of the money is on the over. And then this is gone. I think I haven't looked at the other sites here, but saying this is a 7 opener, it's gone to a 7.5 already.
Yeah, no, I get it. But back to Logan Webb, he had 3 incredibly beautiful starts before that start that he got touched. So you have to go back 5 starts for a bad start. That was at the Padres. But remember, both of those bad starts, maybe this is the same, but both the Padres start and that Royal start, the market was very indicative of him getting touched, told us that, and then he got touched. And maybe that's happening here. That's gone to 7 to 7.5. But it's not like we've had a real big move towards the Tigers. Peter Loshak, your plan of attack here.
Yeah, I my numbers indicate. I know that Webb has issues on the road, but this is, numbers indicate a nice bounce back start for him. And Flaherty, I'm still trying to figure out. Jose Bouquet, what do you think? You think he's not going to turn it around in any meaningful way in any time in the near future?
I think he was more signed to be Tariq Skubal's buddy in the starting rotation, to be that like kind of mentor more than his future prospects of pitching. If I'm being honest, I think he's had some flash in the pan moments, but I think he's more like 5 2/3, 6 2/3, 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs were his last starts. I could expect the same thing here today.
Yeah. I was kind of leaning under on this one, but obviously didn't take it at 7. Now it's 7.5. Don't think I'm going to take it either. But yeah, vaguely looking for a Webb bounce back. Yeah, I guess I'd be leaning San Francisco and the under, but that's obviously, I might have a bad read on this game. I didn't bet it yet.
Benjamin Mills, good note, by the way. Flaherty threw 109 pitches season high last start.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right with Pete. My lean is Giants in the under, but I guess I won't bet it.
Wait, why don't you guys think Webb, just because he's bad on the road?
I think he's worse on the road. Worse on the road, and there's all the money on the Giants, and it's becoming cheaper to bet the Giants.
Right.
I think the Tigers are just flat the better team here as well.
I did the same thing in his last start. I stayed off of it. Stayed off of the Webb start. The market was, telling us that he was going to get touched, and he did immediately. So I guess I'll do the same here. Troy Torrance saying fade the public here.
This would also be a spot I should probably take a team total Tigers as well.
That's true. So possible double up here from Jose Will here.
Who's the public on here that Troy is recommending fade maybe?
The public is on the San Francisco Giants.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
We have Spooner saying Giants bats don't play on the road. They're 30th in weighted runs created plus on the road over the last 14 days, 29th in weighted runs created on the road last 30, and 26th on the road weighted runs created on the full season. All right, let's roll on. Jose's on the Tigers. Anything else, Jose?
Not as of now. Maybe I'll learn my lesson today about that team total. 3.5 even money. The Giants team total is 3.5 minus 120. So even that is very bettable if you like the Giants here. Just, I don't know. It just seems like maybe Flaherty goes out there and shoves today with that low total, but I don't know. This feels like a 4-2, I guess, kind of game.
What did you get on the Tigers?
I got even money, I believe, and let me double check right now for you.
Okay, so Jose's
Plus
locked
105.
plus 105. Okay, plus 105. Ronnie Lofton going for Detroit plus 105 with you against a subpar road team. Sold me. Coin says Flaherty 8 runs allowed last 9 innings at home. Todd Clinton says Logan Webb gets touched up once again. Irish King on Detroit first 5 minus a half. Jermaine on Detroit run line. Jerry Davis feeling a 3-2 game. And I'm going to be off. Let's roll on. Next up for a 6:45 p.m. and we have reached Stacks play of the day numero uno. It is Acuna Jr. over 1.5 bases. Acuna Jr. over 1.5 bases, and that is at plus 107. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey. Acuna over 1.5 bases.
Stacks.
Andrew G says, wow, Strider at a great price. He sure is at a great price because he's had 2 starts this year, not look good in either of them. When was the last time you saw Strider throw 3 strikeouts in a game? 5-3 loss at the Nationals over 4 in a third.
And just to let you one note thing, Jimmy the Bag, his strikeouts prop opens surprisingly high, and his hits prop opened surprisingly low. So just that I will throw that in there while you open this game up.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Do you remember what it was last start, Pete?
His strikeouts prop?
Yeah.
No, what was it?
No, I was asking you. I was a genuine question there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could check it, but yeah, I mean, it opened basically at 6.5 and not even that juice to the under. Now it's gotten bet significantly down, but it was a very eye-opening, and combined with the hits prop was very surprising.
Benjamin Mills says Phillies are Strider's nemesis. Irish King on the Philly money line with Ranger Suarez on the bump. Robert Franklin backing the Braves. We have Suarez 3-0, 3.70 ERA, 1.19 whip, 23 strikeouts over 24 1/3. He's only allowed 1 home run, coming off a real nice start in the thin air of Colorado, a 2-0 victory. Went 6 2/3, 6 hits, 6 Ks, 3 walks. At home, 10 2/3, 13 hits, 10 earned runs, 12 Ks, 3 walks, 1 homer. He's being terrible, but I mean, it's such a small sample size. Lefties hitting 3 for 14 against them. Righties 7 of 19. Braves versus lefties 224, 639 OPS. Phillies versus righties 267, 749 OPS. Both bullpens have been really strong here. Robert Cherry being a problem ever since Tommy John surgery for Strider. Coin says there'll be runs here at Citizens Bank Park. Spooner says Strider owns these Philly bats outside of Brandon Marsh. Harper second best with pedestrian numbers. So let's take a look at the weather here to get us rolling. We have 71 Fahrenheit, feels like 67, 6.3 miles per hour to right center. Then let's take a look at what they expect from Citizens Bank Park tonight. A minus 3% overall from Ballpark Pal. 0 and 0 in home runs and doubles, triples, but minus 7% in singles. So not a big deal here. Let's get into the line history. We have the total at 8.5 minus 109 to the over. It's much higher at other books, but here's just minus 109 to the over, which is actually the higher watermark. This opened up at 8, only lasted for 3 minutes, 8.5. Since then, it's only moved 6 cents to the over to minus 109. We get to the money line here for the spot. We have the Phillies minus 112. They opened up minus 108, so very little movement. And according to wager talk. We have, here we go. We have 61% of the tickets on the Phillies, 61% of the cash on the Braves, 67% of the tickets on the under, and we have 87% of the cash on the over. Mr. Bouquet, Braves, Phillies, take it away.
Yeah, another over lean here. I haven't moved on anything yet here on this game, but that over money is pretty interesting. The fact that it went from 8 to 8.5, and some places even showing 9 now here as well. It just kind of seemed like Strider might be set up to get hit here. I think the plus money on him, maybe a little bit of an invitation to bet him here, and he gets touched up. It's a pretty split bet count and money count. So I leaned over. I haven't moved anything yet here. I'd love to hear what people in the chat have to say. Troy mentioning here, line movement in the Phillies games has picked the winner at an 81% clip since 2023. Market is most efficient in Philly there. So shout out to you there, Troy. But I leaned over in this game. What'd you have to say about this game, Pete?
Yeah, very, very interesting numbers here on Strider. Like I said, the strikeout prop opened at like 6.5 and not even strongly juiced either way, or at least that's the first line I saw. Maybe it opened a different way. And the hits line, very low. And now I'm seeing his outs prop is just 14.5. I mean, obviously super juiced to the over, but still that's, that's a relatively short appearance the market is expecting for Strider, with a lot of strikeouts and not that many hits.
Yeah,
so maybe the market is telling us a strong short start from Strider. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused here.
I don't feel like I have an edge. I feel it's very coin flippy, and I've copied and pasted a couple notes here. Wine time on the Braves money line plus 100. Robert Franklin Braves thinking about Braves first 5 money line. Timmy Two Shoe says Phillies wreck bullpens. I'm off here. I'm going to move on.
And I kind of am looking at some Philly player props that I want to be more careful about before I give them out officially. But I'll probably be looking at a player prop or two, hit and runs and RBIs.
Well, let's roll on, fellas. Let us know if you pull the trigger, Peter. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, our next spot, Minnesota Twins, 29-24, 11-16 on the road. At the Tampa Bay Rays, 27-26, 17-18 at home at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Just want to take another run through of everybody's best bets here that I copied and pasted. So Spooner is on the Tigers money line. And we have the double up by wine time on the Guardians money line and team total over 3.5. Let's get back to this spot here with the Twinkies. Twinkies now 5 games over 500, but 5 games under 500 on the road. Joe Ryan pitching, coming off a 6-5 win at home over the Guardians. It wasn't a great start. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 2 walks. We got AM on the under 8.5. Joe Ryan, though, has been very good this year. 2.68 ERA, 0.81 whip is phenomenal. On the road, he's only allowed 21 hits in 29 innings. He's only walked 3 batters in those 29 innings with 31 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 196 against him. Allowed 8 earned runs in those 29 innings. Irish King on Minnesota money line. Jerry Davis on the other side, and the El Dorado custodian, Jason Meyer, also leading Tampa. But Jerry Davis, Tampa team total over 3.5 in Tampa money line. Timmy Two Shoes on Joe Ryan, 7 strikeouts at plus 130. So we have great splits by Joe Ryan. He's the complete package. Taj Bradley on the other side has struggled this year. 4.61 ERA, 1.31 whip. Last start, he allowed 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, and 2 walks, and 8-4 win at home over the Astros. That was a really tough weather situation for Taj Bradley, and he dealt with it very effectively. This is the same issue here. It's very offensive. Take a look at the weather here. 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 96. 5.4 miles per hour to left center. Dies down to 2.7 as we always see the weather dying down at night, but it's very, very hot. And it's a plus 7% overall according to a Ballpark Pal. Plus 23% home runs, minus 2 doubles and triples, minus 1 singles. Billy Friedrich on Minnesota first 5 minus a half at even money. It is the righties that have been hitting Taj Bradley harder than the lefties. Not ridiculously, but righties hitting 268 with a 793 OPS. This Minnesota Twins lineup, Jeffers, France, Correa, Brooks Lee, a switchy, who hit from the right side, Royce Lewis, a Willie Castro righty, and Bader. The only lefties you'll probably have are Larnach and Cody Clemens. Both bullpens have been very strong. I mean, the Twins bullpen's second best over the last 30 days, but the Rays bullpen's been better than we expected. And the Twins hitting righties harder, not hugely harder, but harder. 255, 720 last 30 days versus righties, while the Rays are 241, 672. Spooner says Ryan throws so many fastballs. I think that's a bad fit for this park. His earned run prop is at 2.5. This is telling me he's going to give up a couple home runs today in this park. He's been lights out all year. Wine time very close to the Rays money line. Let's take a look at the line history and pass it over to our guys on screen. We have the Rays at plus 110. They open up minus 107. So a big move towards the Twins. We've gone from minus 10. Sorry, let me do that again. It looks like it just moved again. Minus 102 to minus 119. A big move towards the Twins. Wow. Then from a total standpoint here, we have an 8.5 juice to the under. This opened up at 8, went up to 8.5, dropped back down to 8. Now it's back at 8.5. You know, Spooner had such a great call on the over in that Taj Bradley last start. It was Taj Bradley versus Hunter Brown, and it was an 8-4 final. Two strong pitchers, but, you know, it just flew over because of the situation. Take a look at the cash flow and then hand this over to Peter. Cash flow wise, we have, not that fast with this. 63% of the tickets on Minnesota, 52% of the cash, but the line really moving towards them. 69% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the under, and yet we have an 8.5 right now. That over is appealing. Jose Bouquet, back in business here. What's your plan for Twins Rays?
Yeah, I'm on set over. I like both these pitchers, I really do, but it does seem like this is just kind of an over kind of day. And we're taking it over at night at this ballpark I don't necessarily love, but you just mentioned the conditions. It's hot, windy, going out. So let's get some runs here. Over 8.5. Minus 110 for me. I'm going to double check that real quick. Yeah, minus 110.
You know, that makes sense to me. I wonder if we're better off focusing on the first 5, honestly. I mean, the problem, Joe Ryan is a very quality pitcher, but that 2.5 earned runs shows that his, like Spooner was saying, that fastball could be susceptible here. And the Twins bullpen's been so good. The Rays bullpen's been okay, but I can understand the over full game as well. Peter, any thoughts here for Twinkies Rays?
Well, yeah, I definitely agree that some hitter props are. I think I'm going to take Brooks Lee hits, runs, and RBIs over 1.5. And yeah, Ryan. The thing is that Ryan also, he has a history with Tampa Bay, right? They drafted him, and he's having an excellent May. Yeah, you're right. I don't like the ballpark for his pitch style, but I still think that. And then Bradley just continuing to have issues, lightning stuff, getting his Ks, but just walks and hits and here and there. So I thought that Minnesota first 3 and first 5 were going to be auto plays for me. I'll definitely take Brooks Lee over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And I guess I kind of do want to take a Minnesota first 5 or first 3, but you guys are thinking that this is not a good spot for him, right?
Well, this is a very similar spot that he just faced. Wind was blowing out heavy. Spooner was, bullish on the over because of it. He went up against Hunter Brown, and he only allowed 2 earned runs over 6 innings. Now, the Astros lineup is not too vaunted right now, but.
Well, yeah, I'm on the over, and I'm gonna ride. I've won full game, because I just haven't bet many first 5 totals at all this year, if any. So that's that. And I looked at the first 5 line movement just now, and the total actually has gone down in juice, which is interesting for the under. So it was like minus 110 each way now, minus like 115, minus 117-ish, which was a little interesting. So that's why I moved on full game.
It even sort of went to a pseudo 4 for a bit. Wow. I like where you're at. I like where you're at. I think the over makes sense. We apologize, VP, for that. I don't know how it works. I don't have control over that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Minnesota first 5 minus 125. I'll shop around to see if I can get that better. But and then Brooks Lee over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs minus 115. I'll shop to see if I can get better, but I'll take both of those.
All right, you are locked in. Lee over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Twinkies first 5. All right, let's roll. Next up for us, we have White Sox, New York Mets. And, Jonathan Cannon has been hit pretty hard on the road. He's been lights out at home, and I'm hoping for getting these opportunities to fade him here. Perky says, I remember Big Tits. Yeah, what we used to call Lance Lynn. Oh, Big Tits. We miss him. Jonathan Cannon here. Billy Friedrich says, Cannon going to get lit up. Men's team total over 5.5 at plus money for me. And that is the Pig Milk play of the day. Pig Milk play of the day. Oh, it's the Cubs. Sorry. The Cubs is. Sorry, not the Mets. My bad. Okay, but Mets team total over 5.5 for plus money for our guy, Billy. This one is interesting because I like Jonathan Cannon and I want to back him, and I haven't had many opportunities to do so. Also, the interesting thing here about this game, and I can understand the under 7.5 from AM, and we'll see if things correlate enough, is, okay, yes, Cannon's had 5 starts. He's been in 7 games on the road. 55 innings all year, 39 2/3 have come on the road. Lefties hitting him a little harder than righties. But Tyler Megal here these are his last 4 opponents: the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. This is going to be much, much easier for him. Those are 4 very tough opponents. At home this year, he's been lights out. This guy's allowed 4 earned runs over 19 1/3. A similar situation that's happened to Cannon that's probably skewed his numbers in a negative way has happened to Megal. He's not throwing at home very often. When he has, he's been lights out. White Sox are not hitting righties. 223, 643 OPS. Mets versus righties, 257, 760 OPS. Billy Frieder says Cannon hasn't allowed a walk in his last 4 starts. Says he has 1 good road start. Mets are hitting righties hard last 30 days, 257, 760 OPS. White Sox bullpen has been a little better than we imagined. I mean, still very mediocre, very, I guess, below average, but that's what we expected. 4.70 ERA, 1.45 whip, while the Mets bullpen is a 3.09 ERA, 1.24 whip. Let's go to the weather here at City. 67 Fahrenheit, feels like 62, 8.9 miles per hour to left center, dies down at 7.2 miles per hour. When we get to the ballpark, pal, they have City Field as the second worst weather conditions for offense. Minus 16% overall, minus 14% home runs, minus 26% doubles and triples, minus 4% singles. So, I'm looking at 8.9 miles per hour out to left center, but ballpark pal giving us a very different story. Benjamin Mills says Mets playing a ton of unders lately. So, quick look at the line history, and then we'll hand it over to Mr. Bouquet. We have this total at 8. It's minus 110 to the over. It opened up at 7.5. So it's a legit move towards the over from 7.5 to 8. We get to the money line. We have the Mets minus 257. They open up minus 258, so no movement there. And when we get to the cash flow, we have 68% of the tickets on the Mets, but 63% of the cash on the White Sox. No movement. 89% of the tickets and 82% of cash on the under. Wow. A lot to think about. Take it away, Jose. White Sox, Mets at Citi Field.
Yeah, difficult game for me because you guys know how I feel about Cannon. 4th consecutive now road start for him, which, I guess is good because, as you mentioned, Jimmy, the home road splits are bad, but I think with the more times he gets out there, hopefully the split will come down. I don't, maybe it is the home comforts of home. I don't know what it is. I always find the home road splits to be interesting. But I thought it would be an opportunity to get these numbers down, and now you're facing a vaunted, allegedly really, really good Mets team here. So I just went back and forth. I thought again maybe a Billy Friedrich first 5+1/2 here, but even he thinks that Cannon gets touched up today. So I stayed off the game.
It just doesn't correlate the way I was hoping it would. Take it away, Peter. White Sox Mets.
Okay, first of all, I found 105 for Lee home hits, runs, and RBIs. Yeah, I don't like the spot for Cannon. I did take under, he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, and I don't think this is a good spot for him. So I am going to give under 4.5 strikeouts, -170 official. Cannon, under 4.5 strikeouts, -170 official. And I still like the under, though, in this one. I had the under yesterday, cashed. Both teams to score 3 or more, no, at -166 might be okay. In general, like an under, the White Sox has a massive dog. It's tough to bet against. I think it's very possible that Cannon could have a nice start and get only 2 or 3 strikeouts. A 7-inning, 3 strikeout start is entirely in the cards. So I'd still be leaning under. Cannon strikeouts will be official. And that's it.
Huh. Loshak on Cannon under 4.5 Ks, and Jose and I on the sidelines here.
Yes, for me, yeah, on the sidelines.
Well, let's roll.
Get that money, Pete.
7:40 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox and Milwaukee Brewers here. American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Savali did not look good in that first. Well, he looked fine. 8-5 win at the Pirates. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Nothing to write home about. So he's throwing 7 innings now on the year. 5 Ks, 3 walks. He's allowed 4 home runs. Allowed 3 home runs in that first stint. Who do we expect? Oh, you have the pitcher here for the Red Sox.
My guess, yeah. My guess is Richard Fitz.
Can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he threw 38, I believe, pitches in his last rehab start. It was his first rehab start, which is why I'm kind of back and forth on whether he's going to go today. He had a great start to the season, then, shoulder strain kind of thing took him out. So, or I guess it was a pectoral, is what they're officially calling it here. But that's the thing I'm worried about. One, is he going to go today? Because I don't think the Red Sox want to do a full bullpen day and kind of wreck their bullpen for the week, essentially. And Fitz, like I said, he only has 1 rehab start in Double-A, and it was, again, 38-ish pitches, 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Good start. But I kind of think their back's against the wall, and I think he has to go today. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was old Dick Fitz.
Dickie Fitz going up against Savali. The Red Sox are hitting righties very hard last 30 days. 265, 791 OPS. You would think that they'd be over 500 with that, especially with the bullpen. 3.36 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. It's just not correlating with victories here. So Milwaukee roof will be closed, we imagine, but roof definitely will be closed here. So here we go. Let's take a look at the line history and then hear the breakdown from Jose and then from Peter. We have Savali and the Brewers at -118. They opened at -116. There was a move immediately. This line didn't come out because we didn't know he was pitching until 10 a.m. And there was an immediate 7-cent move towards the Brewers, and that's come back. And then on the total here for this one, we have an 8.5, -108 to the over. Open up -105 to the over. And then cash flow wise, we have no information. Jose, your thoughts, your plan, how do you want to attack this? Shout out to our guy Ronnie Crawford in the house. Spreadsheet play day Houston. We'll discuss that here shortly. Robert Cherry's action as well. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't think the Red Sox want to go bullpen day today. They don't have a long guy on the bullpen anymore. Sean Newcomb had to be sacrificed to the gods. Shout out to you, Sean Newcomb. So I expect Fitz, and I don't really love backing him here. Like, this is just a shitty spot for the Red Sox. They should have won yesterday, and the Red Sox just continue to be a 500 ball club. So I think they're 2 games under. Now, would I be surprised again they win today? Sure. But like they've right now shown themselves to be a 500 ball club. It's super frustrating. It seems as if the Red Sox are now resorting to prospect timeline manipulation to try to keep Roman Anthony down. It's just bad times. And no Alex Bregman on the team for a while now either. Marcelo Meyer is up, which is a top prospect who the Red Sox are excited for and has immediately become like the fucking third best hitter on the team since coming up. But it's just one of those cases I just can't trust the Red Sox right now in this shitty spot pitching-wise where they're might be asking a rookie basically to come up on his second rehab start. It's just not a spot I love. And bullpen wise, they are pretty rested here today. The long guy now is Garrett Whitlock, who is a high leverage guy for them. Really, he threw 28 pitches yesterday, and I don't think he goes. So that leaves Zach Kelly. He threw 25 the day before. Liam Weissert both threw on, what was that, Sunday? I don't know. It's just a tough spot pitching wise. So it seems like it's a Brewer spot, but I don't like Aaron Savali either. And he's given up runs to this Red Sox team before. Last year when he was on the Rays, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, a home run. He's giving up 9 plate appearances, 8 at bats, 4 hits, RBI, walk, and a double against Jarren Duran. Rafael 2 for 8. Same thing for Story is as a dead body now. But yeah, I just need to see who's pitching. But it seems like it's just a bad spot for the Red Sox personally. Maybe an over.
Interesting. Mr. Loshak, what are your thoughts?
I didn't see any lines for this or anything, so I just looked at us. I haven't looked at this game yet. Sorry.
No worries. Shut the Big Show picks again. The Big Locker Room Talk podcast pops off this evening. It'll be our showcase video throughout the week. Shout out to the and have you guys been noticing their baseball picks are rolling?
Yep. They were on the live stream on Sunday. Did a whole big show picks. Did a whole Locker Room Talk podcast. Say hey, play Mismatch at TC Big Show. The whole gang up there. So shout out to you guys. They did a great job breaking down the baseball and betting the baseball, obviously.
Oh yeah, great gamblers. Huh. So then, just before we move past here, Jose, your expectation of Savali, at home, what is your expectation against this Red Sox lineup?
I think he gets touched up like 5 innings, 4 earned runs. But the Red Sox are just not a consistent ball club. They really are not. And that's why they continue to be 500 because they have moments of brilliance, play well for a week, and then show to be the worst team in baseball. So I lean to them hitting him here today, and I lean to this game being an over. All
right. And Big Show's pick for today with the Locker Room Talk, fellas, is Spencer Torkelson over 1.5 bases at plus 205 for our guy Big Show. That's against Logan Webb, of course. Okay, well, that was kind of a tricky spot. Let's roll forward here. Next up for us, we head to the Cincinnati Reds at Kansas City Royals, Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Royals are 17-10 at home at Kauffman Stadium. Let's take a look at the weather here. We have 63 Fahrenheit, feels like 62, 5.4 miles per hour in, dies down at 3.6 miles per hour. Shout out to Truth Teller in the house. No Ekholm and no Connor Brown. There's no need to bring Ekholm back. You want him to get a little bit of time in, but I'm fine with that. I was actually nervous about him being back there. And no Connor Brown is too bad, but Arvidsson's been there and done that. Thank you for
They're gonna do it for Bill Ranford today, Jim. They're gonna do it for old Bill Ranford.
Is that right for Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever works, whatever.
I've been on Hockey DB in the last few days, Jim. You'll be happy to hear that.
I am. I'm very pleased. Very, very pleased. Very pleased. Because Andy Moog, of course, was a big part of the Bruins after he left Edmonton during the Ranford.
Sure, I'm only researching the 90s Oilers, so you Bruins, who cares right now? It's all about the oil.
It is. And he was on that 1990s team, I think, unless he'd already gone. Maybe he's already in the Bruins by then.
I've got a lot of questions for the 90s Oilers of why do you keep switching captains so often?
Well, you had Mark Messier. I mean, when you It's tough.
Who the fuck is Kevin Lowe?
Kevin Lowe is one of the most important players of the history of the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, I'm learning about him, and then there's a couple of Craig McTavish years who I've heard you've talked about, but
Of course, last player to not wear a helmet.
yeah, I just, I need some consistency in my captainship, and it seems like the Oilers, 90s Oilers didn't have that.
And that's why they lost terribly.
Yeah.
After
Turnsey, wherever you are, is smiling right now. I know Turnsey's ear to ear grinning.
Reds Royals under 8.5 for the truth teller. Brady Singer going up against the bullpen day. Daniel Lynch will not be going very long here. We have a great bullpen. Royals bullpen last 30 days, 3.05 ERA, 1.14 whip. We'll hear from Jose as to the health of that bullpen. Brady Singer's last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 walks, 3-1 loss to the Pirates. On the road this year, he's not being good. Allowed 34 hits over 24 in the third, 18 earned runs, 21 Ks, 8 walks, 3 homers, 330 opponent's batting average. Lefties are hitting him hard, 236, 761. Righties, 256, 724. And the Royals in general are hitting hard, 270. Well, not with a ton of power, but 274, 743 OPS versus righties. Reds bullpen's been a bit of a problem last 30 days, 4.60 ERA, 1.28 whip. And let's get to we did the weather here. Let's see what they say over here at Ballpark Pal for the Kansas City. Minus 7% overall, minus 35% home runs, but plus 6% doubles, triples, and plus 8% singles. And I want to talk a little bit about the psychology of the situation with Singer going back to Kansas City. But we have an 8 minus 114 to the over. This opened up at 8.5 at 1 in the morning. By 1:30, it was an 8. Then we saw it go back up to 8.5 at 9 in the morning for a cup of coffee. We have it juiced to the over right now, minus 114 on the 8. And then on the money line here, we have a minus 116 for the Kansas City Royals. This opened up minus 104. And then cash flow, according to Wager Talk, we have the here we go. We have 75% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Royals. 82% tickets on the under and 88% cash on the over. It's very, very, very public here. Benjamin Mills says, kind of like backing a bullpen day team. Hard to pick something up when you constantly see different guys. I agree with that. I think that I don't trust Brady Singer's character. I don't trust him to come up and stick it to the team that decided that he was not worth being a part of their rotation. The Royals finally come together and they're like, we don't need Singer. And so I think that I don't trust him here. But the public backing Kansas City so much, at least we've had a 12 or 14 cent move towards him. Take it away for us here. Truth Teller saying the Singer's great in Kansas City, fly ball pitcher. We saw that home runs are down 36%, so that should bode well for him. Take it away here for us, Mr. Bouquet, Reds, Royals.
Louis DeBrusque would trust Brady Singer's character. He'd trust his heart and character. I'm very interested in this game. I'm going to watch at least the first 3-4 innings of this game because I want to see how Brady Singer does. He got the whole, welcome back, Brady Singer. The whole treatment yesterday. They showed the video. He tipped his hat, the whole damn thing. So I'm like, Brady, if you're going to pitch well one time this year, can it just be against the Royals at the Royals? Just to stick it to him one time here. I'm fascinated in the bullpen day for the Royals. I just thought under in this game. I really did. And I'm going to stay off because, as a wise man once said, there are no fairy tales in Shawshank. The sisters will come for you and they will come hard. So I ultimately stay off.
Thank God you added the other two lines. Why have I never added those lines?
They will. They will. 8.5, by the way. This was the opener in this game for the total at penny, and this is now an 8. So I lean under. There's a big amount of money on the over. I'll stay off, and I'll think about the sisters some more.
I think you should stop thinking about those sisters. Peter Loshak, Reds Royals.
Yeah, like you said, it's a tough situation. Statistically, I'm seeing a little bit of value on Singer under 3.5 strikeouts at big plus money. But I'm not going to take that. And Friedel has been hot for Cincinnati, and his hits, runs, and RBIs prop at minus 105 is tempting, but like you said, I'm going to pass. Not exactly sure what to expect from the bullpen day. Too many unknowns, or swingers as well. But yeah, free play, I would put it on KC.
Did you say too many swingers?
Yes, way too many. And
I think there's not enough, Pete. Not enough.
Yeah, no. Free play, I put it on KC and lean to the under, but pass.
I mean, I think the Royals are just a little too public for me to want them here. And maybe Singer steps up. I don't expect him to. But if I'm going to keep the note that Royals are too public and see if that kind of changes it all. Because if they weren't, I'd be interested.
I just realized that on Hockey Reference, they have the preseason Stanley Cup odds for the teams too. How nice. Nice.
That's a tremendous story.
Thank you.
I
have more hockey questions to ask you later. Like, what the fuck? They've played like 14 games in 94, 95. What the fuck happened?
14. It was 48, wasn't it?
Yeah, they played so little.
Yeah, there was a lockout.
Yeah, see, I don't know these things. I didn't know. 14
games.
Yeah, they played like, a little baby season.
Let's roll on 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 9-45, 3-23 on the road. Chicago Cubs 33-21, 16-10 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois, which is the toughest place to deliver offense here. Shout out to our guy Elio in the house, top set, rolling with us. We have 58 Fahrenheit, feels like 53, 8.9 miles per hour in, dies down to 6.3 miles per hour in. Ballpark Pals giving this minus 27% runs. Minus 36 homers, minus 14 doubles and triples, minus 7% singles here. AM on the over 7.5 here. Robert Franklin on the under 8, and Pig Milk is here. Pig Milk is on the Cubbies over 5.5. Team total over 5.5. So let's roll. We have German Marquez on the bump, coming off his first good start of the year. 7 innings, 2 runs, only one of which were earned. 5 Ks, 2 walks, a 2-0 loss at home versus the Phillies. On the road this year, he's allowed 28 earned runs in just 22 2/3. 38 hits. Opponents hitting 362 against him. He is not being good. Saturated says PCA Dong, and a lot of people thanking the New York Mets for PCA. Cade Horton, 2-0, 4.40 ERA, 1.40 whip, 10 strikeouts over 14 and a third, 3 home runs allowed. His last start was very good. 2-1 win at the Marlins, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run. His only home start in the of this season was very good. You remember it was all of us on the live we moved on it in 2 different ways. We moved on it pregame, we also moved on it live. We got to the over, whatever it was. The wind was blowing out heavy. And then Spooner got us all on the over earlier in the day, and we went over 13-3 was the final score. And Cade Horton handled the weather very, very well. Lefties 321, 808, righties 267, 800. I think they'll fix that. Cubbies versus righties last 30 days 259, 781. Rockies just 238, 680. And the Cubs bullpen has been phenomenal over the last month. Now top 5 major league, top 3 over the last month. So there we go. Let's take a look at the line history and hear if Jose will be attacking the spot. Line history-wise, we have the Rockies at plus 290. They opened up at plus 258. The Cubs have gone from minus 300 to minus 329. And when we get to the total, we have this sitting right now at a 7.5, minus 109 to the under. Opened up minus 107 to the under. Can Marquez have another good start? We believe in Cade Horton here. This is pretty wild. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. Cash flow wise, we have, over here. We have 75% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Chicago Cubs. 85% of the tickets and 94% of cash on the under. Mr. Bouquet, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I leaned under in this game, but you guys know what I have in this game. And Jesus, they have been horrible this year, Jimmy. The minus 300 fates have been ugly this year. So far, this will probably be the worst start of the minus 300 fate.
What is it at?
I mean,
ballpark?
I don't have an exact number, but I think 2 days ago, it was like 1-7, or at least for me, it's 1-7. And then I bet another one, so it lost. So it's like 1-8-ish this year. so far. So it's been terrible to bet. But I am here again on the fucking Colorado Rockies, plus 290. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Shout out to Spoon's Bets. He talked to us about this game yesterday, I believe, and said under this game. The weather, everything's going to be pointing under. And I lean under here too. So my hope is that the Rockies can scratch across a 3-0 win here, because I think offense is going to come at a premium here today. And the Rockies team total is at 2.5 at minus 115 for me, which is nuts. And I still wouldn't bet that. But here I am taking the money line, plus 290.
Wow, I didn't. It's interesting. I am saying that this opened up at 8. I imagine he's talking about circa, because I don't see anything but 7.5s here. I would like to believe that Marquez could pitch well here, and I do think Kate Horton will pitch well here. But Peter, your thoughts, especially on Marquez?
Yeah, I think Marquez is a little bit of a wild card here. Statistically, I am going to take. I did bet it, and I'll take it. Marquez under 3.5 strikeouts at plus 107. I got a little bit of a better number earlier, but again, just like Cannon, could easily see him having a 6 or 7 inning quality start, 2 strikeouts, that type of deal. And the props are predicting Horton to have an extremely good game. His earned run prop is like 1.5. Heavily juiced to the under, and 5.5 strikeouts, heavily juiced to the over. His hits prop is 3.5 on both sides, same number. So props market saying that Horton's going to have a very strong start. I'll take the Marquez under strikeouts prop, and I would be vaguely leaning under as well.
So would I. I'm a little surprised that AM is so on the over here. I kind of like the under as well. No Robert Franklin, no, not even kilometers. But it's not conducive for offense, but it is blowing in at 8.9 miles per hour at first pitch, dies down to 6.3.
Miroslav Satin would be very disappointed, Pete.
Would he?
Satan.
Yeah, Miroslav Satan would be very disappointed.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to need more time here because I do like the under, but maybe this is. I don't know. I've got to see what because. Am, can you tell? So I imagine it's circa. So it's circa. It opened up at 8, and can you tell me how long it took to go to 7.5? Billy Freddie says Marquez's problems are not related to the home run ball. That's true, but does he? What? Peter, what's your first instinct on Marquez after looking horrific and then having a quality start, very good start at home against the Phillies?
Yeah, I mean, he had a quality, very good start against San Diego, and he came in and got shellacked at Arizona. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's an, he mostly sucks, but he's, certainly good for a nice start 25% of the time. And this is a good pitching spot for him. So, I think he'll probably be okay here, but I don't think he's going to get his strikeouts. And if he does shit the bed, which is not be a surprise, then, probably be out early anyway.
When did the line come out for you, AM, at Bookmaker? I have it coming out at 8:55 AM at 7.5, and they have not moved it 1 cent. So that's over at Bookmaker. At Heritage, I have the line opening up at 8. There you go. At 6:08 PM. There you go. Wow. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's helpful. I've got a lot to think about here, and I will do that. Let's roll on. We have Blue Jays Rangers at Globe. No, I've got CAM. I've got Heritage opening up at 8. We should figure out what sites we're using. I've used the same site for the line movement for 9 years. Spooner says there were 8s last night at midnight. I mean, I'm seeing Heritage opening up at 6 p.m. at 8, but again, we can figure that out here off camera. Let's go. Blue Jays Rangers Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. I imagine it's very hot down there right now, but let's double check if that is the case.
We got shitstormed with the rain and shit last night, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was, cool but roof closed because of rain.
Wow. Well, this is in the I've got no precipitation here. This is right at where they would leave the roof open.
Oh, well, Texas is big as fuck.
70 to 85, the roof. So they have 0% precipitation. So this roof should be open here. And Stack's play of the day number 2 is Rangers -1.5. And Gorky says that we're both wrong. It's Shuthan. Shuthan.
I trust Gorky. That's his man.
I do. That means that we need to tell the announcers that too, Gorky, because didn't have a long career, but Miroslav Satan was what the announcers said. But Gorky would definitely know best. We have AM on the under 8 at -114. Dabby Cab in the house, and the respect play of the day. God, I can't wait to talk about that basketball game. First quarter -0.5. Here we go. Dabby says Rangers can't hit their own ass with both hands. Both hands. Jose, don't imagine it. Bowden Francis, 2-6, 5.54 ERA, 1.41 WHIP. His last start, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks, 7-6 win at home over the Padres. There's a problem with Bowden. I told you guys, but I watched him so closely. His curveball was on, and he still got hit. He's looked at the radar gun after every pitch. He's in his head, man. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Globe Life Field roof is scheduled to be closed for tonight's game against Toronto. Thank you, Spooner. Very important. We have lefties against Bowden hitting .289 with a .989 OPS. Just annihilating him. He is very vulnerable, but again, we just heard from Dabby Cab that the Rangers can hit nothing. Haggerty will be hitting from the left side, then Josh Smith, and then Langford, Young, and Berger from the right side. Heim and Osuna are left side, so they don't have many lefty bats to attack Bowden Francis, and he's on, indoors now with the roof closed, and the ball just doesn't carry when the roof's closed at Globe Life Field. Same thing over at the Rogers Center. Nathan Eovaldi's been absolutely spectacular of late. 1-0 loss at the Yankees. We cashed on the first 3 under and the full game under in that one. That was on Thursday. It was a good day. Friday, I took it right in the drink hole. It's too bad. Last start was great. At home this year has been very good. 5 earned runs allowed over 23 2/3, just 16 hits allowed, 29 strikeouts and 23 2/3 with just 3 walks, 2 home runs allowed, 186 opponents batting average. Splits are phenomenal. Blue Jays versus righties last 30 days, 255, 746 OPS. Rangers 231, 672. And the Rangers bullpen's been a problem. 4.75 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. It's been a real problem. So take a quick look at the line history here. We have a 7.5. This opened up at 8, went down to 7.5, got back up to 8. It's at 7.5. It's juiced to the over right now. So a slight move towards the under, not as big as it looks. And then on the money line here for this one, we have the Texas Rangers at -137. They opened up -159, an enormous move towards the Toronto Blue Jays. And shout out to Rez Mob, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership, blessing our action. Thank you, Rez, my man. And Whack Prescott in the house. What up, Whack?
Whack.
Yeah, Whack rolling, man. Getting pumped up, getting ready for football season. Benjamin Mills says Rangers at home, under. Jose Bouquet, what say you, my friend? Blue Jays, Rangers.
So this is a spot where I'll take the team total here. I mean, this is so sussy here. The just current form, you would think Nathan Eovaldi rolls through, Bowden Francis continues, but I think it seems as if somebody's saying that Nathan Eovaldi gets touched up here today. So I will be one of those guys here. I will take Blue Jays team total over 3.5 -110. Shout out to wherever you are, Not Flush. Hope you and your family are doing well. Just so weird that the line would be moving towards the Blue Jays here. So weird that there's 78% of the money on the Blue Jays here. I think somebody knows something, and I think that Nathan Eovaldi gets touched up today a little bit. So Texas Rangers, and I maybe I'm just like, normally this would be a Blue Jays money line spot for me. Like I just would be close my eyes and take the Blue Jays and trust the market here. But I'm going to take this team total over 3.5 and pray that the market is indeed correct.
Peter, do you lean towards the market saying that Eovaldi's going to get touched or Francis is going to pitch well?
Well, last Tuesday, Jimmy the Bag, I forgot which game it was, but there was another game that was just like this. It was an obvious, don't overthink it, or is it a trap? First five money line. I forgot what the game was. I can look it back up and see what it was, but it wound up cashing relatively easily. This seems like the same thing here. I did though bet Francis over 4.5 strikeouts at plus money though, because even when he gets touched, he still has electric stuff and he still gets his strikeouts, even when he gets touched. So I did take a shot with that. And I also definitely lean Eovaldi under 18.5 outs, even though it's a massive favorite. He's on normal rest and 100 pitches, 105 in his last game. And also leaning Eovaldi under 5.5 strikeouts and 5.5 hits. I think I'll have a relatively short, decent start. So I'm not exactly sure I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. I haven't bet the first three or first five yet on Texas. It seems that's the way to go. Did take a shot with Francis over strikeouts though. But you think he's really messed up, Jimmy the Bag? Like, how messed up is he? Like, he's really fucked up.
He's in his head, but I mean, the market is indicating that this is a great opportunity for him. And, he went up against, I know the Padres aren't hitting it that hard, but Rangers 231, 672 OPS last 30 days. I mean, their sticks are meek. And I don't remember a spot this year where the market was indicating he was going to pitch really well, and that's here right now. So I completely understand the look.
And why I think that Eovaldi's getting touched up here is the movement towards the over, and the seemingly bigger bets towards the over, opening 7.5, going up to 8. And then I need to double check that because that's on wager, and I need to double check that. But
I have the opposite.
Was it bet to the over? I'm seeing it's 8 juiced to minus 120 or so. Is that not?
It's up to minus 125 now. I mean, there is some truth to what Jose's saying, because where we used to play poker, open this up at 2:56 p.m. at 7.5, juice to the over. It got to 8. Since it moved to 8, there's been a 10-cent move to the under. That's starting at 2:56 p.m. If you take the books, with limits, of course, if you take the books that got there first, or sorry, that came afterwards, it's still opened up at 8. It's still opened up at 8 here at 9 p.m. But then it went to 7.5 at 10:30. It's at 7.5 right now. So it depends what book you're looking at. I believe this is moved to the under, personally.
Yeah. Well, I'll be pissed. Just know there will be a pissed off Ennis Swollen if the Blue Jays win this game and don't score 4 runs.
The Jays are live here, and I kind of like the under 2. I don't know what I'm going to have to sit with this for longer.
I will also settle for the Rangers bullpen giving up these runs. Eovaldi can go 7 shutout innings. Just give me these 4 runs, you fucking Rangers, please. That'd be great. Peter Kleeman would be pleased if I got these runs.
He would be very pleased.
He'd be very pleased. Shout out to Pete.
Number 85.
That's a weird number, but shout out to Pete.
All right, let's roll.
Eovaldi is not. Is there something illusory about his success? I mean, he's a pretty. I
think he's a solid pitcher, but apparently he just struggles against the Blue Jays. Someone in the chat mentioned last year, Blue Jays got him last year, so maybe Kelly Butchberger will come out in the stands throughout the first pitch for the Rangers and intimidate Nathan Eovaldi. Who knows?
He's a heart and soul guy, Butchberger. But Justin McKelvey says Blue Jays is the wrong side.
All right. Well, I'll make Francis over 4.5 strikeouts plus 110. I'll shop around a little bit more to see if I can get better. That's a risky thing to do but he is. I mean, he's giving up runs, but he's getting strikeouts here and there, right? Not that many, but I mean,
I think I said this last week. So on Friday, so like 10 or 11 days ago, Francis had to start, and I was watching it really closely, trying to figure out what was going on. And his curveball was on. So I immediately messaged a couple buddies. I was like, Blue Jays are bet on. I already had them pregame, and he promptly goes down 4-0. But he was looking at the radar gun almost every pitch. But when his curveball was on and he was getting hit, I don't know what to do with them.
What is
And
his location? Like of his fastball.
yeah, well, he's obviously concerned with the velocity as well.
Right.
But my dude giving us the stats: Vladdy 10 of 23 off him, Kirk 6 of 10 off him. We're talking about Uvalde. Bichette 8 of 25, Springer and Santander both 7 of 26. What a horrific signing Santander was. I mean, Santander, Jimenez, and I mean these guys. I mean,
You gave $100+ million to Venezuelans, and now I'm afraid Toronto is going to have a distinguishing hate of Venezuelans. Now it's going to be tough.
oh God, I don't even want to get into it. I mean, we also gave Scherzer $15 million. I mean, who in the world thought that was? Okay.
No, that was a let's fill out the seats for 1 or 2 starts. He didn't even get that.
Oh God, it's just
You know who would be disappointed in that? Shane Corson.
yeah, Shane Corson.
All right. Go ahead, Jose Bouquet. Come on with it. Get that cash, Pete. Comment. I'm going to take Eovaldi under 18.5 outs. I'm seeing minus 159. I'll shop around to get a little bit better somewhere else. Get that cash, Pete. Get that
under 18.5 outs. And no, they do not pay them in Canadian dollars, Spooner. Everything USD. Over 18.5 or under 18.5 outs. What was the juice?
Well, minus 159, but I'm searching around, seeing what I can get that's better. And I'm also taking Francis over 4.5 Ks plus 110.
Yeah, you got it. Shout out to MC Search as well.
Yeah, shout out to him.
8:10 p.m. Eastern with the Oakland Athletics, 23-31, 14-12 on the road at Houston Astros, 28-25, 18-10 at home at Daikin Park in Houston, Texas. Hunter Brown got touched up against the Rays last start. It was, wind was blowing heavily out, and it was the first time he'd been touched up really all year. He'd been phenomenal. He's only started 3 games at home, so he's only thrown 18 2/3 at home. He's only allowed 8 hits, 2 earned runs. He struck out 25, walked 8, 1 home run. Opponents only hitting 131 against him. He's the real deal. JP Sears, on the other hand, just allowed 6 earned runs and 10-5 loss at home to the Angels. And he's been really strong on the road. Opponents hitting 218 against them. He's allowed 3 home runs in 35 innings, just 12 earned runs allowed. Lefties have okay numbers, but again, I think he's seen 13 or 14. Righties are hitting 241, 732 against him. The A's versus righties last 30 days, 251, 731. OPS Astros versus lefties, 238, 722. And the A's bullpen is an atrocity. That's just so bad. 7.74 ERA, 1.78 whip last 30 days, while the Astros bullpen 2.97 ERA, 1.20 whip. Mally Mouse says sounds like a Hunter Brown bounce back spot, but we have AM on the over 7.5 in this one. So let's take a look at the line history here and see what Jose's plan is and then Peter's plan. We have a total of at 8 minus 111 to the over. This opened up at 7.5. Initially, when it would go up to 8, it would come back 7.5, but that stopped happening at 10:46 a.m. where it just stayed at 8. When we get to the money line in this one here, we have the Astros at minus 219. They opened up at minus 205. They got up to minus 234. So we've had 15 cents of buyback from that number. But that is very, very interesting. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 80% of the tickets and 73% of the cash on the Astros. We have 72% of tickets and 87% cash on the under, and this is moving towards the over. Coin says, feels like Sears gets hit tonight. Jose Bouquet, your plan of attack.
It definitely feels like it's a Hunter Brown bounce back spot. I mean, that giant live movement towards the Astros, is pretty absurd there. So I stayed off this game. I don't bet minus 1.5, but this does feel like a minus 1.5 spot. There's, like you just said, Jimmy, 80% of the bet, 73% of the money on the Astros here. And we have a 30-cent line movement, apparently. So, and even larger at some places. So, stay off game to me, but I do agree. I think that the Astros get the sticks out and start beating the hell out of JP Sears. Troy Torrance just said back up the truck, so it feels like we should be calling out one of these here today because it definitely feels like one of these.
We have Lex Steele on the Nerfy. Peter Loshak. But sorry, after that, Jose, you're not on it at this point.
Nope, nothing. I just don't bet. I don't bet run lines. I'm not going to. So that's why I'm not on it.
And Old E on the other side, he's on the A's plus 1.5. Mr. Loshak, your plan?
Yeah, I guess it's all about, is Brown going to have a bounce back here? I've seen nothing to indicate that he won't. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, though. But I mean, if we think Brown is going to be all right, then yeah, got to be first 3, first 5, and probably Houston full game as well.
The double result is an option, isn't it?
Yep, that's another good one.
And of course, Athletics team total under as well.
What would that be? What number is that, Peter?
It's probably 3.5. Some like unpleasant total. I mean, unpleasant juice. Let me see.
I have 2.5, which is disgusting.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, 3.5 minus 145. You know,
I think I just keep it clean on the run line, just because of the huge advantage I have with the bullpen. So I'm going to be on the Astros on the run line. Probably just leave it at that. But I can understand the double result. I mean, is there concern of JP Sears pitching really well? Slight concern. Billy Friedrich on Wilson over 1.5 bases and Paredes over 1.5 bases for Billy. Okay, let's roll on. Next up, we have 9:38 p.m. Eastern action here, and our guy Justin McKelvey is moving on this one. Justin said 9-1 Tyler Anderson is to the Yurfie in his starts.
Wow.
And he has moved on it heavily. Minus 113. 9-1 to the Yurfie. We have Rodon and Anderson going up against each other. The Yankees are destroying lefties. 292 with a 901 OPS last 30 days. Angels hitting lefties with power. 223, 744 OPS. And Tyler Anderson has reverse splits. I'm not sure how much you're going to want to believe in him. AM on the over 9. The 286, 938 OPS lefties against Tyler Anderson. Righties just 192, 630. At home this year, Tyler Anderson has been quite a bit better than he's been on the road. Allowed just 8 earned. Well, he's been pretty good everywhere. 8 earned runs in 28 2/3. Lamont in the house, and he is on the under. So we have AM on the over, Lamont on the under. Thank you for sharing that with us, Lamont. Carlos Rodon on the other side, he's been very, very good. We just saw him pitch spectacularly well up against Eovaldi in that 1-0 win at home versus the Rangers. Doubled up on that one. Not on the Yankees, but on the first 3 and full game under. 2.88 ERA, 0.96 whip on the year. On the road this year, he's allowed 11 earned runs over 31 innings. Opponents hitting just 179 against him. His splits are very, very good. And we have another situation where the bullpen advantage enormously favors the Yankees. 3.13 ERA, 1.25 whip, while the Angels are 7.79 ERA, 1.84 whip. Spooner says Angels just went on a huge win streak all against righties. The only lefty they saw was Sears. The bats match up better for righties. So here we go. Let's take a look at the weather and the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over to the squad. We have 71 Fahrenheit, feels like 69, 7.2 miles per hour out to center. Dies down to 5.4 miles per hour. So that gives Angel Stadium the 4th most offensive, or tied for 3rd most offensive park, but not offensive really. Plus 1%, plus 7% home runs, -1 doubles and triples, -3 singles. We get to the line history here. Move this over, sorry, to money line. We have the Yankees at -200. They open up -178. So we move 22 cents towards the Bronx Bombers. From a total perspective, here we have a 9 -116 to the under. This opened up at 9, and it was at 8.5 a few times. At one point, it was at 8.5 from 9:22 a.m. until 11 a.m. Overall, we've had 3 cents of movement towards the under from -113 to -116. Wine Time says Yanks smash here. Yanks smash. Philly Eagle Flyer on the tide under. They're tied after 2 innings. And Drewski is on the under 9 in this one. Spooner says Yankees bullpen is taxed. Weaver and Leiter in back-to-back days. One look at the cash flow. We have 72% of the tickets, 88% of cash on the Yankees line moving towards them. 94% of the tickets, 94% of cash on the under. A lot of money on this under. Mr. Bouquet, Angel Stadium, calling your name. Take it away.
Yeah, I haven't moved on anything yet either in this game. I found some struggles, but, all that money on the under haven't really moved much. Jimmy, would you agree with that? It's the juice has gone to the under. I'm seeing 108.5. So maybe it's starting to come here, but closer to game time, if this stayed at a 9, I'd be much more interested in an over. Spoon just mentioned that the bullpen is taxed there. Leiter and Weaver back-to-back days. I don't love betting overs, as most people that watch this program know. So the Yankees are going to have to rely on Tim Hill, Johnny Loizaga, and maybe Devin Williams to close this game, and he's not been a good one to close games for them. So I'll stay off, but I lean over. And Tyler Anderson remains one of the best lefties. Let me double check that. I think he has one of the best left-handed splits against righties still, but no action here for me.
Yeah, Rodon allowing righties to hit just 156, 518.
He is also up there, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Tyler Anderson. My bad. Yeah, Tyler Anderson, same deal, 192, 630.
Yeah, so I expect both of them to shove a little bit, but all that money on the over makes it seem like this, or under, excuse me, it makes it seem like it's sort of an over spot. So no action.
Shout out to our guy Walla Dose. It feels like we'd be better off just betting this live, but then the Yurfie's 9-1 and Tyler Anderson starts.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that takes away us wanting to wait. Peter Loshak, take it away, Yankees Angels.
Well, statistically, and I did bet them both a little bit. I took both strikeout props over. Rodon at 7.5 at like even money, which has now gone up a little bit. And Anderson, I took that one at over 4.5. That's tough because he's going to have to bounce back against a tough lineup. Can he do it? I'm not sure, but statistically, there is a little bit of value there according to what I was seeing. And let me even see if that has if that one has moved a little bit. Yeah, just a few cents. Yeah, so both of those have moved up a little bit. I took both of those overs, strikeouts, and it's a little bit tough to. It's a big wild card how Anderson will rebound after a terrible 6-walk outing, no strikeouts. Now going up against a tough lineup, so it's tough. And 7.5 strikeouts is a hell of a lot. So will Rodon deal again? Probably. Any reason to think he won't?
No, not really.
I'm going to hold off, though. That's just a little bit of a buy high spot on Rodon strikeouts right now.
Yeah, I have interest in the over with Lamont, so bullish on the under. I'm going to spend more time on it. But I certainly have interest in it. So let's roll on. 9:40 p.m.
And actually, like a Yankees race to or first to score is something I was thinking about as well.
It'd be very pricey though. They hit first.
Yeah, right.
A race would be.
And first Pete is like minus 230.
Pete don't give a fuck about no juice.
Yeah, the races are all like in that range as well. So yeah, it's tough.
Well, we will and can circle back, but we have 3 games left in Major League Baseball before we have NBA, and then
I will tell you what. Oh, right. Yeah. The outs prop was surprisingly high on Anderson, and now it's gone down from 17.5 to 16. So yeah.
All right, let's roll on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Miami Marlins 21-31. 8-16 on the road at San Diego Padres, 30-22, 17-8 at home. We have AM on the under 8 in this one. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Let's start with the weather there. 64 Fahrenheit, feels like 62, a little warmer than usual. 6.3 miles per hour out to right field. Dies down at 4.5. We have for the ballpark pal, we have -9%, -6 home runs, -11 doubles and triples, and -4 singles. Let's set this one up. We'll touch on the line history here. From the total standpoint, we have a 7.5 minus 115 to the over. This opened up at 8. It was juiced to the under, and now it's a 7.5, juiced to the over. Maybe a quarter of a run move. On the money line, we have the Padres at minus 156. Opened up at minus 171. So a 10-cent, we have a 15-cent move away from the Padres, a 10-cent move towards the Marlins from plus 153 to plus 143. And when we get to the cash flow for the Marlins spot, we have 79% of tickets and 77% of cash on the Padres, 84 and 91 on the under. Max Meyer coming off a really good start at home versus the Cubs. It was a good time to back him. 1 earned run. It was solo shot over 6 innings. He hadn't been pitching very well, but we know he's a very highly thought of young pitcher. On the road this year, he's throwing 22 2/3. He's allowed 13 earned runs, just 20 hits, but he's walked 11 batters. His K to walk ratio is 63 and 17. At home, he is 50. At home, did that math wrong in my head. At home, 40 strikeouts and 6 walks. On the road, though, 23 strikeouts and 11 walks. Lefty's hitting 224 with a 666 OPS. Righty's 282 with an 801 OPS. Righties get to him. So a quick look at this Padres lineup. Tatis, Machado, Bogarts, Elias Diaz, and Lockridge turning the lineup over are the righties that Meyer could have some difficulty with. Stephen Kolek on the other side, 2-1, 2.84 ERA, 1.26 whip, coming off allowing 4 runs, 3 of which were in the 7-6 extra inning loss at the Blue Jays. We were all over the over in his last start. It was, Kolek versus Bowden Francis. It wasn't that easy to get there. It was just I was only on the first 5 over, and it was just 4-2. It wasn't so easy, and I paid the juice for the 4.5. So he didn't look great. He's only had 1 start this year at home, and it was a start where I expected him to get touched, and he did. And then he got touched again against Toronto. But at home, he went 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and the 5-1 loss at home versus the Mariners. Marlins versus righties, 260. 747 OPS last 30 days. Marlins are hitting righties harder than the Padres, 252, 711. And both bullpens have been just horrific. The Marlins bullpen, 5.17 ERA, 1.48 whip. Padres bullpen, 5.51 ERA, 1.42 whip. Take it away, Mr. Bouquet, Marlins, Padres.
Yeah, over. Again, another over. I can't believe I've been taking so many overs today. I think this is like the third one, second one, maybe. I don't know. But another over for me here. The main thing I was worried about was the Padres bullpen shutting these guys down late. You mentioned how bad they've been, and their tax too. I mean, Robert Suarez back-to-back days. Probably not going to go today. Jason Adam, back-to-back days. Jeremiah Estrada, 27 pitches a day ago. I don't think he goes today. Alejandro Morejon, back-to-back days. So that leaves us Yuki Matsui, Sean Reynolds, Wandy Peralta threw 21 pitches yesterday. I don't even think he goes. David Morgan, a AAA guy, and Omar Cruz, a AAA guy. Marlins bullpen, I mean, it's been bad, but on top of it being bad, now it's also taxed. Rodney Hernandez or Henriquez, back-to-back days, throwing with a day off yesterday. He could be available today, but, I mean, good luck, I guess. Anthony Bender, 21, didn't throw yesterday, probably not available. We'll see. Fauci, back-to-back days. Tinoco, 17, and Tyler Phillips, 24. So, again, that leaves us guys like Belozo, who's a long reliever now for them. Maybe Bender's available, and Jansen jumped through 68 pitches 2 days ago. I doubt he's available. So, I think the pitching staffs are just that bad here that we've gotten over. I think that the Padres offense is good enough to get to Max Meyer, who I generally like more than out of the two of these guys. And you just talked about the Marlins being pretty good against righties, serviceable, I guess here. So I will take the over 7.5 minus 120 for me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. A very nice number Spooner got on the Marlins first 5+1/2. It's too expensive now. Peter, take it away.
Well, the Kolek props were a little bit odd. His strikeout prop is very low, and I did bet it. got like plus 112 or so. Now it's gone down about 10 cents or so. But I didn't understand it, and his outs prop was very high. So the initial props that I saw were expecting a worse start. I was surprised from Kolek. I was surprised to see it. I will give his strikeout prop though over 4.5 at plus money. I'll shop around to get the best line. And other than that, though, I would definitely be leaning Miami though at the line. I didn't bet it though. High volatility with Meyer, so I might take a shot with -1 or even 1.5 if I was going to bet it. Very, very high volatility number for Meyer, and Kolek also high volatility.
I'm with these guys. Marlins first five plus a half. That Spoonergard sounds tremendous at -115. I don't know if I
down on this guy Kolek.
I just, we've been capping him pretty closely. He had the wonderful start, the complete game shutout in Colorado in the second start. I expected him to get touched in that first start after that, and he did. And then I expected him to get touched against Toronto, and he did.
Sure.
He's a Rule 5 pickup. I think he's worse than his numbers indicate. But
so you're all pretty down on him, huh? Wow, geez.
It's not that I'm down on him. It's just I believe that he's worse than his numbers indicate.
Sure.
That's all. And so I kind of like Marlins first 5. I get the full game over. I mean, AM on the under, but I can understand it. Billy Frieder says Marlins are 5-15 on the first 5 run line this season. 3rd worst in Major League Baseball. I would have to take him on the money line and go with that. But I think the bullpen issues, the bullpen being tired, not only is it, possible over, but it would also be a live over if these guys look good early. I think that it's very possible that Meyer pitches well here.
Sure.
Okay. And Jose, you moved on the over 7.5. Sorry, Jose is on the over 7.5 -120. And
Yes.
what did you get on Kolek over 4.5 Ks? You said that was plus money?
I'm seeing a plus 115 now. So what is he? Does he really? I mean, yes, he's obviously a young guy comes up and has a complete game shutout at Coors. Okay, obviously that's going to be eye opening, and he's not that good. But is he? I mean, is he that bad? Nothing I'm seeing is indicating. Yeah. It might be an overreaction to his recent starts. I don't know though.
I expect to move on both of those spots here and possibly a live over as well. Let's roll on here to our next spot.
I am making it official. Plus 115.
Plus 115, you got it. Next up for us, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 19-36. 6-20 on the road to the Arizona Diamondbacks, 27-27, 14-13 at home at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We imagine that all these games are now going to have a roof closed situation here. It's deep enough into summer, but let's just still do our due diligence on that one quickly here. And the Diamondbacks roof is closed. So it'll be closed for the next 3 games at least. We have Mike Burrows, the 25-year-old from Waterford, Connecticut, 11th round pick out of Waterford High School back in 2018. He is pitching. So he came up last year and looked quite good in one bullpen opportunity. He looked last year he went from rookie ball to A ball to AAA, and he got better everywhere he went. Then he got a little cup of coffee with the Pirates. Then this year in AAA Indianapolis, he's looked very good. He's had one start in the show, and he's not looked very good. That one start, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 2 walks, an 8-5 loss at home versus the Brewers. Corbin Burns, on the other hand, looked very good. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-1 loss at the Dodgers. He started 4 games at home, and he's been lights out. 4 earned runs over 24 and a third. Only allowed 14 hits. Only allowed 1 home run. Opponents hitting 169 against him. His splits are great. Pirates are not hitting righties at all. 225, 628 OPS. Diamondbacks versus righties, 264, 792 OPS. Lamont, my man, thank you for dropping in. Respect. Get that cash. We have AM on the under 9 here. So let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow. Let me just move back to money line. Sorry, quickly in full game. Okay, here we go. We have the Diamondbacks minus 241. They opened up at minus 240, so no movement at all, at this price. And then on the total, we have a 9 minus 114 to the under. This opened up at 8.5. It wasn't a real 8.5. It was, heavily juiced to the over and plus money to the under. So you can get it either way you want. If you want the under 9 heavily juiced, or you want the over 8.5 heavily juiced, depending on your preference. And then cash flow wise for this one, we have 83% of tickets, 71% cash on Arizona, 84% of tickets, and 95% of cash on the over. Mr. Bouquet, take it away. Pirates, Snakes.
Yeah, pretty easy stay off game for me. I don't know enough about Mike Burrows. I know more about. Oh God, I got something in my eye here. Jesus, I know more about my man Bill Rainsford than I do about Mike Burrows. So I'm gonna stay off and watch Corbin Burns, see if he can play well here. Maybe Corbin Burns can meet up my man Bob Beers and see what they've got shaking around. But I've got no action in this game.
It's not your best work. Bill Rainsford is not the Rain Man, but
he could be.
Let's hear from Peter Loshak, Pirates Diamondbacks.
Well, Burrow's first start was not good, but then he did settle down later, and he was pretty good in the minors. So I'm thinking he might have an okay start here. I was leaning under. I'm careful about that, but definitely leaning under. The Burns strikeout prop was very low. It was 6.5, but way juiced to the under. Let me see where that is. Let me see where that is right now. Burns should be all right again. I don't see any statistical reason not to think so. Let's see what happened to all those. Yeah, still there. Majorly juiced to the under for Burns. And Burrow's outs prop was low. It's always tough for a young guy to go into go on the road to Major League Park, especially, I know the roof's closed, but especially when it's freaking 90 degrees out, a nice little hitting team. But I think Burrow's in general probably okay. So
would that not lead us to a first 3 under 2.5?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Sure, it's just a lot of uncertainty and volatility with someone named with a young guy like Burrows. So I'd rather be taking like 1.5 at plus money than 2.5 as a big dog line, a big favorite line.
It's not a big favorite. It's juiced to the over because this is a 9.
Is it?
Yeah, at 365, it's minus 130 to the over, minus 110 to the under.
Yeah,
and that makes sense to me at an 8.5, 9.
With these young guys, he obviously has the ability to get. He had really good numbers at overall at AAA, and his last start, jitters when he started, but then after that, he sort of settled down a little bit, which is again totally par for the course for a guy like him making his first start. So I'm vaguely high on him.
Yeah, I think that first 3 under 2.5 makes sense to me. Now it's all based on Burrows being able to get 9 outs without allowing 2 runs, which is possible. I think it's all possible. I think it all sort of fits here, the first 3 under 2.5. So that's why I'm leaning towards. Peter, anything you want to make official before we get into our final game?
Maybe. I'm looking around trying to find what things I might want to make official. But
Ron Lofton knows this Diamondbacks team inside and out. Diamondbacks on the run line. Pirates team total under 3.5 and Marte over a half run. It's the SGP at plus 255. Let's go into our final spot on. So I expect to be on the first 3 under 2.5 and that one I expect to be on. Let's go into our final spot on the board. Nationals, Mariners. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Nationals 24-29, 11-15 on the road. At the Mariners 29-23, 13-11 at home. We have Mitchell Parker and Logan Evans. Parker coming off 5-3 win at home versus the Braves. Went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 4.39 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. On the road, he's made 4 starts and he hasn't been very good. K to walk ratio a problem. It's been a problem everywhere. It's not just on the road. He's only allowed 17 hits in 20 1/3, but 13 earned runs, 215 opponents batting average. He's only allowed 1 jack, Got the reverse splits with lefties hitting 254, 766 against them, while righties are hitting 218, 603 against them. AM is on the over 8, says runs. Logan Evans. And now Logan Evans was the pitcher who went up against, it's not Kopech, Kolek. It was Logan Evans who went up against Kolek in that start in San Diego. Logan Evans pitched well. He's coming off 6-5 win at the White Sox. He didn't pitch very well. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Overall, in 27 innings, he's got a 3.33 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP. At home, he's had 2 starts. He's gone 10 innings, allowed 5 earned runs. But opponents hitting 194 against him, 6 Ks, 5 walks. Not exactly what you're looking for. Both sides of the plate getting to him. Lefties 289, 782. Righties 274, 818. Nats versus righties 244, 711 OPS, and the Mariners are getting the lefties of late 257, 732 OPS. Nats bullpen continues to be a problem. 5.79 ERA, 1.54 WHIP, while the Mariners bullpen 3.36 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. It's been warm out west. This roof will be open 69 Fahrenheit. Feels like 64, 8.9 miles per hour left to right. Oh, but in more than left to right. It dies down at 7.2 miles per hour. We have Drewski on the under 4.5. Irish King on the first 5 minus a half. AM bullish on the over. Lex Steele on your Washington Nationals. And Billy Friedrich has a 4-team money line parlay. Cubs, Mets, Diamondbacks, Mariners at plus 300. Spooner says Mitch Parker get up spot for him. So let's touch on the line history and then hand it over to Jose. Our last game before we get into basketball. We have a total at 8.5. It's minus 111 to the under. This opened up at 8, moved to 8.5. Opened up 8 as a pick'em, so a legit move towards the over. Then on the money line, we have minus 153 for the Seattle Mariners. They opened up minus 154, so no movement at all. We take a look at the cash flow. We have 66% of tickets on the Mariners and 58% of cash on the Nationals. Then 86% of tickets and 92% cash on the under. We've gone up to 8.5. It feels like not only are the Nationals live, but so is the over. Jose Bouquet, take it away.
Yeah, no action here, but you guys know how I feel about the Nationals and Mitchell Parker. I like Mitchell Parker. He's one of my guys that I've backed for the last 2 years. Logan Evans, he's like the 7th guy on the Mariners here, and then they've gotten a little more healthy. So shout out to him for sticking in his spot. But yeah, I lean over in this game. You mentioned it with all that money on the under. We've gone up to an 8.5 here, but no action here for me.
Peter Loshak, our final game of 15 in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I didn't have time to look at this one too in depth, so I'm going to pass on this one right now. I'm still looking at this fascinating Pitt Arizona game. Seeing if I want to pull the trigger on anything here.
I wonder if
Kelly Butchberger would be pissed off at you, Pete.
Butchie was a tough dude. I wonder if this is the spot to attack.
4 consecutive years getting eliminated by a Dallas Stars in the playoffs. God damn. 90s Oilers, just tough times.
I wonder if this is the spot.
You remember those teams, right, Pete?
Sure.
Yeah, you were there.
Okay, well, I'm interested in the over and the Washington Nationals.
Pete, what were you doing in 1997?
We don't want to talk about that. Oh, well, we do. It's funny, but it'd be embarrassing to me, so we're not going to.
He was knee deep in most beautiful women, I imagine. I think it'll be Nationals' first 5. I don't trust Logan Evans at all. And then I think it'd be the over. That's what I expect to be on here. Let's review all action here. Peter, do you have time to cap basketball with us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
WNBA, yeah.
Well, we have to go through the NBA game first.
Oh, okay.
Then we'll roll into
the
WNBA. It won't be too long here. So I'm interested in the Guardians. I'm going to sit with that a little more. I'm also interested in the Orioles' first 5 as well as the first 3 under, but I don't know if I get to the first 3 under. I need more time on that one. Then Jose's on the over 8.5 in Minnesota, Tampa, and I would like to join him. I don't have a ton of action here. I have some interest in that under 7.5 in Colorado, Chicago. I have interest in the Jays and the under in Texas. Actually, I do have late action. So the Astros run line. I don't know if I get to the double. I don't want to have too much invested. The over in New York, Yankees, LA Angels. And then the first 3 under 2.5 in Pittsburgh, Arizona. And the over and Nats first 5 in Washington, Seattle. So I do have enough. And I will be attacking those spots here. Spooner says, really disappointed Jimmy didn't get me on to back Singer versus the Royals. Yeah, I can't do it. I don't
just remember the saying, there's no fairy tales in Shawshank.
I don't trust him in the spot. I don't trust a lot. There's a lot about Brady Singer's character that I've questioned over the years because I've really liked his stuff. Jose Bouquet. Why don't we hear from Peter first, and then Jose, we'll hear from you after. Why don't you, Peter Loshak, break down your action, please?
All right, a whole lot of leans, but the ones I've made official: Brooks Lee hits, runs, and RBIs -105. Minnesota first 5 -125. I can't not take it. Cannon under 4.5 strikeouts -170. I know that's a big line, but he has a hard time getting strikeouts, and could easily have a good start there and still go way under that strikeout prop. Marquez under 3.5 strikeouts +110. Bowden Francis over 4.5 strikeouts +110. Eovaldi under 18.5 outs -159. And Kolek over 4.5 strikeouts +115. That might be a mistake, but whatever. And then Houston -1 is just like, I guess I didn't make it official, but that just seems like a no-brainer thing to do.
And Jose Bouquet.
I am on the Detroit Tigers +105 full game. Minnesota, Tampa Bay over 8.5 -110. Toronto Blue Jays team total over 3.5 -110. Miami Marlins, San Diego Padres over 7.5 -120. And the -300 fade back at it again. Colorado Rockies full game money line +290.
Yeah, the losing with the A's and the Marlins on Friday with the 7-game winning streak, switching cities, that's lost 5 in a row now.
That hurt my feelings too, yes.
And if Mason Miller hadn't have shit the bed, you can think you would have got there, but who knows? And I left thinking, I do not want to bet another gimmick again. I don't want them involved, but I'm not going to give up on this one. I know it succeeded, and you're going to go through these streaks, but
it's a fine line between gimmick and trend and angle.
Very
fine line.
You know what, Jim? I'm going to add on one more. I'm going to add on the Yankees over. Anderson over 5.5 hits at plus money. He had a lot of walks. He's probably not going to. The Yankees. Statistically, it makes sense. I'm just hoping that I'm just worried that if he gets crushed, he might get under 5 hits and give up a whole bunch of runs and then get yanked early. But I think it's more likely than not that he has an okay start. So I'm going to add that one on. Anderson over 5.5 hits at plus money, and I'm going to shop around to see what best number I can get. Okay.
I also have some taint for everyone.
Ooh.
Not particularly hairy, shaved, and well manicured. Tampa Bay Rays plus 105 for our guy Matty A. Shout out to you, Matty.
Taint is the Rays. Very, very interesting. All right. Shout out to Tech Style, star of the Daily Spread podcast, in the house with us. Says he's backing the Reds. Oh, but wait a minute. Let's go back to that spot. Yeah, he's backing the Reds, backing Singer here. All right, let's roll on to NBA. Mr. Bouquet, do you want to stay with us for NBA and WNBA?
I'll be back. I'll be back here in a second. Yes, Pete's is gonna be like, I'm gonna go, and then I'll be back when that happens here in a second.
Okay. Peter, my friend, we have an absolute beauty to attack here. I'm coming off of a loss on the Thunder last night on the -3 line. It's pretty frustrating, and I'm very excited about this game. And I see what it all comes down to, and I need to talk about it. And of course, it's Neesmith, and that's what I need to talk about with everybody and hear from everybody. And Peter Loshak, set this game up, my man.
Well, I'm very, very careful with the NBA, which is probably I should be with all sports, but definitely with NBA. So, after that OT loss, someone I know asked me for what to do with game 2. And luckily I said first quarter, first half money line, which I did bet, and those cashed. But then, of course, they came back and lost it. So now this game, I just do not know, Jimmy the Bag. I want to listen to what you guys have to say. I guess I would be leaning some kind of under, some kind of way, maybe. But yeah, I did bet the Knicks money line first half, first quarter in game 2. But other than that, I have not touched this one.
Well, let's break this one down. Drewski says Pacers money line or pass. We have AM on the over 220. And Coin saying New York starting both big slows the scoring down once again. First half under for Drewski. Chosen one on the Knicks plus 2.5. Let's roll into this. Gamebridge Fieldhouse is the setting for game 4 of the East Finals. Over the playoffs thus far, Knicks are 9-6, 95.11 possessions a game. The series 94.39 possessions a game, and that's a point of contention for the Pacers. We'll go over some of their comments here, but they want to speed it up badly. Speed it up. Get the Knicks running. The Knicks are shooting 47.7 from the field in this series, which is up from what they've done in the playoffs, 45.1. Just 33.7 from 3, which is down from what they've been doing in the playoffs. The Pacers have been, the best offensive team in the playoffs. They have shot 49.9 from the field and 39.6 from 3, and they've been playing the playoffs at a pace of about 100 possessions a game. Now, if you include the series against the Knicks, it goes down to 98.12 possessions a game, and this series again is being played at 94.39, which is too slow for the Pacers. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, and I really want to hear everybody's thoughts on Neesmith here. Whether or not they think he's going to play and how important he is to this Pacers squad. The Pacers are a -3 right now. They were a -2 for hours and hours and hours. It's quite a sign, I think, that they've moved to 3. This total is a 221. Here they're saying that this is just stuck at 221, but I guess so. In game 3, the total was 224 and 206 points were scored. So they open it here 3 points less, and it drops a little bit. I can understand why AM is liking the over in this one here. Oh, okay, Textiles is fading Brady. Okay. Sorry, he is on the Royals there. Okay, thank you, Tex. There. Nasty Nate on the Pacers second quarter. Justin McKelvey on the Halliburton double at plus 115. Dougie Wise talking about liking the under 2. Dougie Wise also saying Knicks are 1-9 all time in the playoffs at Indiana. Drewski says way too much money on the over. Let's take a look at the situation here. We have 75% of the tickets and on the under. 75% of tickets and 90% of the cash on the under. 75 and 90. So I've got a my information is not, but let's use another book and someone else. I guess I could pull up Action or something because I have 75 and 90 on the under, which is what I was expecting to see. Everybody just watched 206 points being scored, and I thought that this was going to be, heavy on the under, and which is what's happening here. So let me know where you are getting that information. Drewski. Oh, just on DraftKings. Okay. Because it's not the case, Margo Wide. Let's go to Action here just very quickly. I know we don't want to use it, but let's just see what they are saying here. I will not be renewing Action. We have over here 73% of tickets, 70% of cash on the spread on the Pacers. On the money line, 65 and 49. And then on the total, 94 and 90 on the over. So I guess that's coming from there. Interesting. Okay. AM says there isn't much thought on this for me. I just have this model at 232, so I'll bet the over probably every game the rest of the series. Here we go. Cat goes off in the fourth quarter, 20 of his 24 points, and he was spectacular. And the Knicks changed Tibbs' approach. I mean, they used 9 players. The interesting thing was Brunson. Brunson was on the bench for 17 minutes and 29 seconds, and the Knicks were plus 12 or minus 6 with Brunson on the floor. Landry Shamet played. He was a plus 12. That was the best of all Knicks. He'd only played 30 minutes in the entire playoffs. DeLon Wright was a plus 2. So 2 players that we hadn't seen much of them. A lot went wrong for the Pacers. And that's what I kept coming back to. And what is the importance of Nesmith for what went wrong? That's the question. Shout out to our guy, Aaron Malavo, joining us from the Philippines. Says he likes the under. Respect, my man. Great to have you back in business. Great to see you. So, first off, the Pacers were 5 of 25 from 3. That's, obviously detrimental to their game. Nesmith being hurt, he's been shooting 54% from 3. The Pacers also closed the second and third and fourth quarters horrifically. You can't do that when you're up. It's going to burn you. Final 3 minutes and 20 seconds of the second quarter, Indiana went 0 for 5 from the field and was outscored 10-3. To close the third, Pacers turned the ball over 5 times. Last 3 minutes, 11 seconds were outscored 7-2. And then with 3 minutes, 11 seconds left, they were down 2 points and they missed their final 5 field goal attempts. We know what happens when the Pacers score points. They win. They're 10-0 when they score over 114 points. So you have to ask yourself these questions. Do you think the Pacers are capable of going 114 or more? Well, we know they're capable, but do you expect them to do that? Because when they don't go over 114, they're 0-3. Miles Turner said, there's plenty of times when we're walking the ball up the floor as if we're the Knicks. We didn't play fast enough. We built our brand and made our way getting up and down and being a fast-paced team, and we didn't execute that way. Other players had the same sentiment, but it wasn't as distinct. So Nesmith started this series going 8 of 9 from 3 for 30 points, and the Pacers win in overtime. He came back after he left the game with 6:06 left in the third. He came back with 7:03 left. He missed 11 minutes. When he was not on the floor, so he missed 11 minutes, the Knicks outscored the Pacers 32-18. So we've watched Cleveland smack Indiana in the mouth in their first game in Indiana. And what happened? Indiana came back and destroyed them, beat them by 20. So I don't know that's what I'm just stuck with. I want to back the Pacers here. I want to back them. But is Nesmith so important to this basketball team that if they don't have him coming off the bench? I mean, we've been looking at what went wrong last game, with Nesmith out, and Shepard, these guys just aren't stepping up. They're not doing enough. Shout out to my guy Deacon Mike in the house. Drewski says, I got Pacers going to the finals, so they need this game. So with all this being said, I don't have the answer yet. I thought that after talking it out, I would be sitting there going, they can win without Nesmith. But I don't know if they can. And I agree that they have to run the ball huge. Fast pace. And Action Jackson says Pacers smash. Coin says Indiana's point total has gone down every game in this series. 125 in game 1, 114 and 100. Saturated says look for a big game from Turner. Deacon Mike asking if Pete got hair extensions. I'm not there. I thought that when this was done, when we were done talking about this, not only would I be on the Pacers, but I'd be on their team total over. Mark A's on Indiana's team total over 111. That was my plan. And Neesmith's confidence, his swagger. I mean, if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. And for a shooter, shooting those bombs from deep, it's going to hurt them. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the guy's just being an absolute force. Can you trust Shepard, Nembhard, these guys? I think the answer is no. And I'm not there. I'm not on. I can't get to the Pacers. Sanchez says Pacers better have a plan for Cat. He showed them what's up when he wants to impose himself. Drewski says I don't see the Knicks going 105 points. Wow, I'm surprised. I really thought I was going to talk this out with you guys, end up on the Pacers and the team total over, and that's not happened. I think the Knicks have a lot of confidence after what happened last. If you liken it to what happened in the NHL playoffs, Carolina was still getting more high danger opportunities than Florida, while Dallas wasn't, even though Dallas had the run of play. I think the fact that the Knicks were so good with Brunson on the bench will only give them more confidence. Coin says, think this is a good Garcia prop game here in game 4. I think so. I think it's not bad. I still, the Pacers, I will not. There's such a team group, and if they don't have Neesmith, I mean, what the fear is that they only allow, let's see how many players they're allowing quickly just to touch, because if they only give you 7 player props, well, then you're in huge trouble. So let's just see. Right now, they're giving you, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because they're giving you Shepard 5, 6, 7, 8. It scares me too much. Sanchez says this line seems right, other than the fact 90% of these games are blowouts. So look, I'm sorry, I didn't get there. I didn't get there. In fact, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of think the Knicks are live, and I don't want them. Sanchez says NBS to be the play. Pete, after hearing from everybody in the chat and hearing, free bands play today's Pacers -1 first half, notice that Dougie White's not moving on full game.
Yeah, I kind of got to go in like 15, 20 minutes, though. So
we'll be good. We'll go through WNBA quickly. Okay. Is there anything that you are using here that want to have? No?
I hope y'all cash, though.
And Eldorado Custodian says Pacers first half seems like the same sitch. Free bands getting blown out or getting up a big lead at same end, same motivation. I was almost certain, especially with the line moving towards the Pacers, I thought I'd be on them. I mean, if we go very, very quickly, let's just do this, then we'll move on to WNBA, and we won't spend more than a couple minutes on each game. If we go back to, what the Pacers did against Cleveland when they won by 20 in game 4, they won 129-109. So they'd just been beaten quite badly, and then they dominated. They absolutely dominated. They dominated early. And, Neesmith, you could say, wasn't that big a part of it. He was a plus 27 in 23 minutes on the floor. Yeah, he only scored 12 points. He has a confidence. He has a swagger. You take him off, and I don't know. They've always been more than the sum of their parts. Dougie Y says Knicks had never won on the road in Indiana before last game. And Redbeard says live bet situation for Pacers game. A coin says whatever team is down at the half, just play them second half. That has been cashing with ease. Yeah, I'm not going to have anything pregame at this point. I'll keep working on it, and if I move on anything, I'll tweet it out. And I apologize. I thought I was going to have an angle, and it went away. Sanchez says, here's your Pacers angle. Hart and Brunson are worn out. There's a reason Thibs finally unloaded his bench. I think he wanted to switch things up, mess with them too, but I think there's some validity there. So, okay, let's move on to WNBA, and I apologize. Dougie White says, I'll be looking to hammer the under live. I'm kind of on the other way, Dougie White. I'd be interested in hammering the over live because I know that the Pacers are going to run quickly. It's just that they're going to have to handle it. Textile says Pacers have to deal with the lineup adjustment. I like my home team, the Knicks, waiting it out. And Ronnie Lofton on Brunson over 29.5 points. Redbeard says Halliburton's going to show up tonight. I think Halliburton's going to be huge tonight as well. So maybe it's the points and assists for Hallie. He knows he's got to dictate and run fast. Maybe that's where I end up with Halliburton over P and A. Maybe that's how I end up. All right, let's roll into the WNBA. Peter, my friend, we have 5 games. We'll work quickly. Set us up for Dallas Wings, Connecticut Sun, and let's roll.
All right, so Dallas obviously winless, but OKATS is a road dog. Now they're a favorite, and they have some life to them. And Connecticut also winless. They're off a blowout road loss. They just have they seem like they're a team that doesn't have some life to them. That doesn't have much life. Also, Paige Buchers. She was the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, and she went to UConn. Now she returns to Connecticut. So, that's going to be a big night for her. Probably Connecticut will get up for it then to stop her. But in general, I see Dallas as a young team with some life to them that can't hang with the big dogs, but will have life even though they're losing game in and game out. And Connecticut doesn't really have that kind of life. So that's why they're a big road favorite here. I'd love to take Dallas on like the first half or full game money line. And I was also thinking about the Connecticut team total under, although the total's gotten bet up since I first saw this line. But we'll see where it is when it tips off. Leaning Dallas to win and Connecticut team total under.
I think this market's very telling. Everybody wants to, people that have some excitement around Dallas and, Paige. And there's no excitement at all around the Connecticut Sun. They're coming off getting destroyed by the Dream in Atlanta. Both teams are coming off a loss at Atlanta, Wings Saturday, and the Connecticut Sun Friday. And Connecticut lose by 24. While the Wings lose 83-75 in a tough spot. This line is not moving towards the Dallas Wings. It's not.
Because they're a big favorite, relatively.
Yeah, but I do think that's very telling. I really do think it's very telling. And I'm very interested in backing Connecticut Sun here, and I think I probably get there here. So let's just touch on it a little more. Connecticut plus 4.5 minus 108. It did go down. It went from 4.5 down to 4. Now it's back up 4.5. Nobody wants to bet Connecticut. This total is now 163.5 minus 111 to the over. This opened at 162.5. It dropped down to 161. It bounced back. It's bouncing all over the place, but it got up to 164.5 before it started dropping. Now it's at 163.5. And when we get to the cash flow here, we have 62% of the tickets on Dallas and 94% of the cash. 59% on the under and 82% cash on the under. This is set for me. I'm on the Connecticut Sun. They're coming off being embarrassed. Nobody in their right mind wants to bet them. Everybody's betting the Dallas Wings, and this line's not moving towards the Dallas Wings. Tina, Charles, we need Charles, Mabry both to step up. Charles 14.5 points a game, Mabry 13 points per game. The thing about this, and this is the most important part of this here to me, is the Dallas Wings are horrific from 3, 29.2%. They are the worst perimeter defense in the league. They shoot 29.2 from 3, and they allow 40.5 from 3. I just think it's extremely telling that this line isn't moving towards Dallas Wings, because I'm telling you, nobody wants to touch the Connecticut Sun with a freaking 10-foot pole. And who are the Dallas Wings? What have they proven? Becker's averaging 13 and 6.3 assists. Ogunbowale averaging 12.5 points per game. So,
okay, I am going to bet WNBA completely recreationally, meaning that I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And you flip me, Jimmy the Bag. I'm going to take the Dallas team total under 84 minus 110 official play.
I like that. So sorry, Wings team total under 84 What was the juice?
Minus 110.
And that was 84 flat.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to be on the Connecticut Sun plus 4.5. And I will bet that as soon as the show's over. Let's roll on, Peter. Golden State Valkyries, New York Liberty. Set us up.
You know, the Liberty, a massive favorite, of course, undefeated, very tough. Golden State, terrible opening loss, blowout loss, then 2 nice dog wins. A young team, obviously expansion team. Now, though, they're going all the way to the East Coast. And, you know, I would love to take the Liberty money line if it was like minus 300, but they're a 16.5-point favorite or whatever. I guess maybe Liberty team total over 90 again. That's a little bit iffy, too. Maybe this is unbettable here.
This total opened up in the very early where we played poker at 168.5. It opened here where we used for line shopping 165, and we are down to 163 or 162.5. So it's a big move towards the under. On the spread here, the Liberty are now 17.5-point favorites. They opened up 16.5-point favorites. We have a 1-point move towards them. We have AM on Valkyries Liberty over in this. Let's get into the line. Oh, we did that. Let's get into the cash flow here. Again, this is according to Wager Talk. Their page is not from action. We have 50% of tickets and 52% of cash on New York, and this line's moved a point towards New York. Interesting. 84.91 on the under. Golden State comes in off its second straight win, 82-73 at the Sparks on Friday. They shot 41.5 from the field and 31% from three. They are playing more than the sum of their parts. They're not scoring a lot. You know, they're not very good offensively. That was an outlier, you know, at the Sparks on Friday. They're averaging 75 points per game. That's second worst in the league. 36.5 from the field, and they are worse than Dallas from three, 24.8%. They're really bad. But defense, they're the third best defensive team at this point in the season. They're allowing 77 points per game. The Liberty opened the year with 3 straight wins. They're coming up that 90-88 victory at the Fever on Saturday. Ionescu went for 23. They shot 46 from the field, just 25.9 from three. And it was a big comeback, came back from 12 down. They're scoring 94 points per game. It's, there's a lot of teams scoring a lot of very high offensive production here. This is a team in Liberty shooting 49.7 from the field and 36.6 from three. They're so much better in every conceivable way. And the Valkyries are just continue to play over their head. They're playing more than the sum of their parts. Obviously, the betting public is seeing that, and that's why only 50% of the tickets and 52% of cash is on the Liberty. It's still moved a point towards the Liberty. I don't want to back the Liberty at this big of a number when I do believe the Valkyries are just more than the sum of their parts. In saying that, everybody else has seen them win 2 straight, and this line still moved a point towards the Liberty. Clearly, at that opening number of 168 or 165, it seems like the under is the play because not only can Golden State not shoot, but they can step up defensively. At this point, I don't have an angle here that I believe in. Nothing is leaning. So it's also, I'm moving on the Connecticut Sun. I got the ugly sister in game 1. I'm ready to move past this one. So let's set up, Peter, Seattle Storm, Minnesota Lynx, game 3 of 5-game slate.
Okay, so Seattle, Minnesota is minus 6.5 is the Ron Crawford. I don't know if you caught that, Jim. The Ron Crawford WNBA play of the day. Minnesota minus 6.5, which is, I guess, a little bit surprising. Minnesota, of course, covered both road games and then too big of a favorite in their next 2 home games, although they did win. Seattle, opening blowout, which was bad, loss, but then 3 straight excellent wins since then. So going on the road, getting a bunch of points against a team that has, shown in the short young season to be a good team, but too big of a favorite at home, you might think Seattle would be the play. I don't know. Ron Crawford likes Minnesota play of the day minus 6.5.
I mean, the problem with this is Kayla McBride is making her season debut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not a spot that I want to back. And I'm sure it's a spot that probably excites gamblers, but we know what happens when a star player comes back.
Sure.
This line opening up at 6.5. It's now at 7.5. And Seattle's a very veteran laden squad. So the very first spot is that a star player is coming back.
Right.
And I don't want to be involved then.
Right.
So that's just my own bullshit. So I can understand Ron Crawford's an absolute monster in WNBA, and you always want your action to correlate with his. This total opened up at 157.5. It's now 156.5. We have AM on the over 157 here. And that's a problem. Exactly what Mally Mal's saying is what Seattle just did to Vegas on Sunday. 102-82. I mean, it was very, very impressive. So we have the 1 point move towards the Lynx. We have the 1 point move towards the under. And when we look at the cash flow here, we have 58% of tickets and 55% of cash on Seattle. The under is 67% and 82%. So Seattle's been extremely interesting. They opened the season with that ugly 81-59 loss at Phoenix, and then they won 3 straight. And they've taken care of business for me. They've helped me live. They've helped me pregame. Gumake, 20.5 points, 10.3 boards. Diggins averaging 19 points. Again, it's a veteran team. They're shooting. Their perimeter defense is really strong. 37.9. They shoot from 3. They allow 31.5. And then you have a Lynx team, 4-0. It's their 3rd straight home game. They're coming off a very underwhelming 76-70 win over Connecticut. Collier is their best player. I mean, it's not like McBride is. Collier averaging 29.5 points, 7.3 boards. Courtney Williams averaging 12.8. I think this is a great spot to sell Seattle high. And maybe I'm making too much of McBride coming back and messing up the energy. I don't want to back Seattle after a 20-point win over Vegas. But again, I don't want Minnesota with McBride in their first game back. So I guess, so I'm off here.
Okay.
I'm off. I thought it was going to be a side, but I'm off. A shout out to Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford, he knows what he's doing here. Ronnie Crawford. Right. Wait, let me just go back to, because I had it copied and pasted. Minnesota, -6.5, beat it by a point. Yeah, Rudy, it hurt. It hurt, my man. Okay, let's roll on to game 4, Pete.
All right, the next one is Atlanta and LA, and Toby Lane play of the day with Pacers money line combined with Sparks money line, which is pretty interesting, right? LA got a win after 3 losses in a row, and Atlanta, pretty good overall, not infallible. They do have some, some injuries. Brittany Griner was out from their last game, and Te-Hina Paopao was also out of their last game, where they would a blowout win against Connecticut, which, again, Connecticut is an uninspiring team. They were on the road. So now Atlanta going into LA, and, LA struggled a bit, got a nice win over Chicago, who's terrible. So I don't know, small favorite line, but Toby Lane likes the Sparks here quite a bit for some reason, probably a good reason.
Yeah, Atlanta comes in off back-to-back home wins. You mentioned the Griner being, we don't expect her to play here tonight. They won 83-75 over Dallas on Friday. Then they won 79-55 over Connecticut on Saturday, both at home, and then they head out on the road. And this will be the Sparks' 3rd straight game at home. They come in off defeating the Sky 91-78 on Sunday. We're about to discuss how horrible the Sky are. That's the question mark with this game. Kelsey Plum goes for 28. Stevens goes for 24. This team is terrible defensively. They're not even good offensively. I would like to fade the Sparks here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can get there, but I think that you can overvalue the injuries to Atlanta and overvalue the Sparks beating this guy who are horrific. I think both can be done here. Let's just see. Now, for the books that came out in the afternoon, LA was +1. For the books that are more conservative, they opened this up last night, 11 p.m. at -2. And the line moved towards the line moved towards at first Atlanta to +1, and then it back at +2.5. So let's take a look at the cash flow here and decide if this is what I want to do. 60% of tickets, 92% of cash on the Sparks. It is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think the Sparks are really fake. Kelsey Plum, if she wants to go on a scoring spree, I think Atlanta's better than they look. And yeah, you could say, well, they've won 2 straight, at home. It's not 3 games in 4 nights. They had Sunday and Monday off. Makes it easier to travel. And I think that again, the 2 angles for me, you're overvaluing Brittany being out, and you're overvaluing the Sparks beating a horrific Chicago Sky team. So I'm going to be on Atlanta. I'm going to bet Atlanta to take care of business here on the road, for better or for worse. So.
Okay. All right.
Let's roll into our final
status
spot.
of Tahina Pow Pow. Totally irrelevant, huh?
Not irrelevant. It's just that who are the teams that we see so far this year that have surprised us to be more than the sum of their parts? Golden State and Atlanta. They're more than the sum of their parts. And so, I think that I think that the Sparks are bad.
Okay.
And who cares? And also, it's been nice that they're at home, but they play heavy minutes with their starters. It's not 3 and 4, Justin. Remember that. So I hit this again. They won. That's why this is good. It's Tuesday. They beat Dallas at home on Friday. They don't travel. They beat Connecticut very easily on Saturday. They have Sunday off. They travel on Monday and they play on Tuesday. I think that you can overvalue certain spots here. I'm not going to. Now, look, this could cost me. We'll see how it banks out. I think the Dream are quite a bit better than the Sparks. Let's set up the final game on the board, Sky Mercury.
Next one, Chicago at Phoenix. Chicago really bad so far. Phoenix solid at home so far. Phoenix, of course, playing strong defense when they need to. Chicago kind of offensively challenged. I don't know. I pass as of right now, but maybe Chicago team total under.
What I still have to figure out is how bad exactly are the Chicago Sky. We'll go over that in a second. This line's gone from -7 to -6, so we've had a 1-point move towards the Sky. From a total perspective here, we have a 158.5 juice to the over. This opened up at 158. What's AM doing with this total? There it is. Sorry, he's on the under 157.5. I get it. It's all good, Justin. No, it's great. Don't worry, man. We're just doing
Look
this.
at that. Mally Mal loving Phoenix. Wow.
Mercury all day. Mercury trifecta. Wow.
Holy shit.
Mark A saying these teams are ass. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in Drewski on Sky Moneyline. Wow, that's wild. Very exciting. Cash flow wise, we have 75% of the tickets, 66% of cash on Phoenix. I mean, the fact that the Sky are sharp here is mind-boggling. They've opened their season, the Sky, with 3 straight ugly losses. They lose at Indiana by 35. Then they lose at home to New York by 25. Then on Sunday, they lose at the Sparks by 13. Angel Reese leads them in scoring with 13 points. They actually shot the ball pretty well. And again, that goes to show how bad the Sparks are defensively. They shot 46.4 from the field. Vandersloot looks the part. She's 36. Doesn't look good out there. 9.7 points, 3.3 assists. You need to be getting more than 3.3 assists per game if you're going to be playing the point. But they have no one who can score. Angel Reese 13.7 rebounds per game, but she can't score. Rebecca Allen tied with Vandersloot at 9.7 points per game. As a team, the Sky are shooting 28.4% from 3. Mercury bounced back from their 77-70 loss at Seattle on Friday by beating Washington at home 68-62. McConney goes for 13. Sabali leads the team in scoring. Alyssa Thomas second. Phoenix also can't hit any threes. 28.2 from 3. So, it says, Action X says, do you think losing to the Sparks was a fluke? No, they lost by 13. I don't look. The market indicating that this guy is sharp here is we can try. I don't know if we need to make sense of it. Action Jackson, I don't think it was a fluke that they lost this guy, but lost to the Sparks. But the Sparks let them shoot 46%. The Sparks are not a good basketball team. And then I'm just comfortable testing that, especially with this fear of the injuries affecting the Atlanta Dream. I do think that this is fishy, extremely fishy. And that doesn't mean that I want this guy here, because I've seen how bad they are. But this under, how is this total going up? I can't comprehend how it's going up. These teams can't shoot from three. I don't. Okay, so look, my shots on this card, and I wanted to talk it out, are, and if this guy cover, it kind of feels. I need to see if they're actually improving. But for me, it's two spots. I'm gonna be on the two ugly ducklings on the card. I'm gonna be on Connecticut and Atlanta sides only. Pete, can you review your WNBA action?
Yeah. I'm gonna take a Connecticut team total under 84, and you know what?
I thought that was Wings team total under.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were on the Wings.
Dallas team total under 84, and I'm thinking about adding on the Mercury team total over.
Action. Yes, this should be a Phoenix smash and grab spot. It should be. Why would this line go from 7 to 6 with everybody on Phoenix? It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't want to mess with it. That's all. So you have the Wings team total under. Anything else, Pete?
Should I add on Phoenix team total over?
It's a very fishy line.
Yeah. You know what? I'll just stick with Dallas. That's it. Just one play for me. I got a jet, Jim. All right.
Okay, and but just before you do, can you do one last review of Major League Baseball?
Oh yeah.
Can you? Is it easy is accessible?
Brooks Lee hits, runs, and RBIs -105. Minnesota first 5 -125. Cannon under 4.5 strikeouts -170. Marquez under 3.5 strikeouts +110. Francis over 4.5 strikeouts +110. Eovaldi under 18.5 outs -159. Kolek over 4.5 strikeouts +115, and Anderson over 5.5 hits +111. And I'm not using Houston -1, but Troy Torrance likes it. It's also the Ron Crawford play of the day, so I should probably add that one, but I won't. That's it, though.
Peter, my friend, much love. Thank you for rocking with us. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
See y'all next Tuesday.
There he is, Mr. Loshak here. Jose rejoining. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Fernando Mendoza, a little three-piece combo parlay. Harper hit. Duran hit. Goldschmidt hit. Three-piece combo at +179. Let's review all action here on the show. We have Billy Friedrich's Pig Milk play today. Cubs team total over 5.5 at +130. Justin McKelvey on Acuna over 1.5 bases, and Rangers -1.5. Spooner on Dodgers, Tigers, the first 5 under 4.5, and Rangers, Jays, and Marlins first 5 +0.5. Wine time on Braves, Guardians, and Guardians team total over. Then we have Toby Lane play of the day. Sparks money line, Pacers money line. Peter Loshak and I are both on the Oilers on the -1 line. I know you have futures on the Oilers. Are you on them tonight, or just futures? Let futures.
No, I'm just watching and smiling ear to ear, wearing my McDavid jersey every fucking game day now, ready to go again. My guy Bill Rainsford, Jimmy, come on,
Ranford.
They're doing it for him. They're doing it for our guy Pete Klima, Bill Guerin. They're doing it for the guy the McTavish, Dougie McTavish, whatever his name is, and they're doing it for all of them. I can't wait.
Craig,
it's going to be a great time. Yes, and then Brad Marchand's brother, Todd Marchand, obviously.
Not quite, no. But I see you're pumped up, and I love to see it. I've got to get my action in now. So MLB. Now, I have to leave here in 44 minutes. Okay. So a couple of these spots, like the Guardians. Say what, my man?
Soccer,
yeah. Carter's got soccer. I might not. I got Guardians or something I want to sit with. So I might wait till I come back. Orioles first 5 in the first 300 in St. Louis, Baltimore. Then I would like to join Jose on the over in Minnesota, Tampa. And then I move all the way to a possible under 7.5 in Colorado, Chicago. The Jays and a possible under in Texas. The Astros on the run line. The over at Angel Stadium. Marlins first 5 in the full game over. The first 300, 2.5 in Pittsburgh, Arizona. And Washington first 5 in the full game over in Washington, Seattle. In the East Finals, Game 4, I think I don't need it, but I want to be involved. And I had planned after talking it out that I would end up on the Pacers and the team total over. That didn't come to fruition. So maybe it's just Halliburton points and assists. But if that is the case, do you want to have Neesmith in there? I'm going to make that decision here over the next little while. So that's NBA. And then in WNBA, I got the two ugly ducklings, the Connecticut Sun and the Atlanta Dream. So those are my two spots here at WNBA. Jose Bouquet, please review your action.
Sure, I will do that now. I was just laughing at the facts or the memory of you just jumping out and almost breaking through a glass window. Well, what happened again? I forgot.
One of her best friends, Tessa, is going to be an elite athlete. Like she's her parents are both 6'4", there's no question she's going to be an elite athlete. And they were on different teams. Ella slid, went around, stole the ball from her and just broke the other way. And Tessa went like this, like that with her. And then Ella scores, 7-year-old with a layup. I lost my mind. I exploded. I flew 15 feet. Like I jumped up and screamed, but I was just in the air for most of it. I was very proud. Very proud.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can only imagine, and I wish I could have been there to see it for Ella's sake and to laugh at you. It would have been beautiful. And both
people were laughing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure because they just saw a man fly 15 feet. They were shocked to see that.
It was magic.
Especially a jorts having man that hasn't said a word, just been chilling and then just, I can see it.
I'm not chilling. I'm capping. I'm setting up my worksheet.
Of course, yeah. Just, minding your own business and you just look up.
Yeah.
And you see glory. Tigers money line plus 105. Minnesota, Tampa Bay Rays over 8.5 minus 110. The Toronto Blue Jays team total over 3.5 minus 110. Marlins, Padres over 7.5 minus 120. The Colorado Rockies money line plus 290. And I put this parlay together here. Pacers, Oilers, Tigers. I forgot about that parlay I put together. So I guess I am on the Oilers in that aspect. I put that parlay together with the Into Building guys. So shout out to them. Their legs were the Pacers and Oilers. So hopefully some beginner's luck will get me through the finish line. So that'll be nice. That was plus 556, I think I got it at.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so,
I like it.
Nothing official, but yeah, I bet it.
I'd like to answer Dougie Wise here. This is my concern, Dougie Wise. My concern is with the Pacers up 2-0. And Neesmith clearly hurting his ankle. Carlisle had to bring him back. Up 2-0. He had to bring him back and risk further injury. Why? And then what does that mean about a Pacers team without him? I didn't fully think that I would come to that realization, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen after we broke it all down. My expectation, and I had written there, was Pacers and the Pacers team total over. But that's not where I ended up. And if we're going to sit there back and say Matherin's going to step up, Shepard's going to step up, I'd have to say, well, fucking prove it. So that's it. That's my concern, and that's enough for me to not bet it. I'll be watching and I'll be looking live, and this work is so important. I can't stress this enough, that the work on each game helps you so much betting live. I'm looking forward to see it, Saturated. I'm looking forward to see it. It's not enough for me to bet the Knicks. So, that's my concern. And I truly thought, and not only that, Dougie Wise, but the lines moved to the Pacers. That should be enough for me to say, okay, let's go. It's not. I'm going to sit back and watch. Also, I kind of like AM on the over. I can sit back and kind of cheer that on. I want to see if the Pacers push the pace, because if the Pacers push the pace but are shooting poorly, it's going to take a lot of quick math and decision making whether or not we want to move on a live total. So I'm going to be moving live on the game. I don't feel I want to watch what the Pacers do. I mean, Neesmith's shooting 54% from three, and he is being the one slowing Brunson down at times and getting Brunson into foul trouble as well. Res Mob play today. Pacers first quarter -half. I got to get this action. I got to get a bunch of action. I don't need to get all of it in, but I got to get a bunch of action in here before I take Carter to soccer. So we're going to put a bow on today's festivities. Last week was a losing week. Did not make it to 9 straight weeks. It was not a bad losing week, which is a good sign that, it's not like But Friday was, I had gotten everything set. So if Friday was a winning day, it would have been the 9th straight winning week since Bubba-Palooza. It was not the case. Today's very important, and this week is very important. We got to get back to our winning ways. A Saptual, man. A Saptual. Yeah, he might play, Saturated. He's not officially out. He's not going to be 100%. And, he's so young. You want him to stay with that, that edge that he has. Will he be questioning things? I gotta watch. I just can't move on it yet. So
let's do it for Mark Messier.
I don't know. Mark Messier was terrible.
What happened to him? Why did he leave the Oilers? Did he retire? Tell me he retired in Oiler.
Oh God!
Please tell me he retired in Oiler. I don't know. I have no idea the story of Mark Messier. Unfortunately, what happened?
He went to Madison Square Garden and he won the Rangers' first Stanley Cup in 57 years, and he guaranteed victory, and he fucking beat the Canucks in 7 games. And
oh, what a bastard! We hate him. Fake Oiler. What a loser that guy is. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, this is upsetting.
I'm sorry. I'm learning.
Right.
I've got to learn. I don't know.
All right. Well, this one pissed me off.
Okay, I apologize. I didn't know. I was stepping in it, unfortunately. And I'm glad. I hope that people in the chat enjoyed that, I guess. But thanks, everyone, for joining us on the lovely edition of Loshak in the Bag. It's a great time. Let's hey, those bookmakers, and take Carter to soccer. And I got to hit the button.